Hi, I'm Scott Dunbier from Act 4 Publishing.
And I'm Kevin Gardner of 12 Gauge Comics. We're here to tell you about our Kickstarter campaign for Jason Pearson's Body Bags Artist Edition. As many of you know, Jason passed away in December of 2022. He was a dear friend of mine, and in my opinion, one of the most talented comic book creators to ever work in this industry. His work for Marvel and DC on books like X-Men, Deadpool, Spider-Man, Batman, Harley Quinn, and so many others was well regarded. But no matter what he did, it always came back around to body bags, his wildly controversial and wildly successful creator-owned series that debuted in 1996. And all these years later, we're still talking about it. Now let me hand it over to Scott, who is the Eisner Award-winning creator of the Artist Edition format. He'll tell you a little bit about that and why he wants to do this book.
Jason Pearson was someone that I worked with over the years when I was the editor-in-chief at Wildstorm. He was a friend of mine. He remained a friend throughout his life. Incredibly talented guy. I wanted to do something that would solidify his legacy, and I thought the best way I could do that was to put together an artist edition. It takes original comic art and prints it in a format that is as close as possible to what the original art looks like. So you're talking about a book that is printed the same size. This book will be 12 by 17 inches, and it will be scanned in color so you can actually see all the little nuances that make original art unique. Everything as close as possible to the actual intent of the artist. And that's our tribute to Jason.
On top of the Artist Edition hardcover, we have two other books we'll be offering in this campaign. Both are 64 pages in length. Both are 8 inch by 12 inch in size and perfect bound. Really nice presentation. The first is called Locked and Loaded, and it is a Jason Pearson sketchbook. It's a convention-style book that has all of his private commission artwork that most people have never seen. The other is called the Artist Edition Plus book, and we're doing that because Jason never sold a single page of his body bags work. That's from the sequential pages, but also the character designs, early concept art, all the way through the final pages he was working on before he passed away.
If you back the book and you get the 2 ancillary books, you'll be receiving more than 300 images by Jason Pearson that have never been printed in this format. So this is an incredible opportunity. If you're a fan of Jason's, this is a great project.
We've also got some add-ons as part of our campaign, like trading cards and print sets and some really great looking stuff. And I also want to say, if you back Jason's campaign in 2015, we have a very special offer for you too. So please go check out our campaign page. Thank you so much for listening to the video, and thank you for your support. Body bag.
Whoa. That was a quick ending. What the heck? I was waiting for the sound to fade out, go to black, and all of a sudden it's like, go, you're on. Holy cow. What's up, everybody? Finally, good to see you guys. It's Thursday for My Wednesday Comics. Sorry for the delay. My name is Rocky Ballesteros, and I am just getting over a horrible allergy attack that happened last week. For those of you who are subscribed to my channel and keep up with the community posts, I posted a couple of days ago telling you guys why I haven't been streaming and wasn't able to stream yesterday on my normal day, Wednesday, because of this crazy allergy attack. And so you might hear it in my voice, might sound a little sniffly. I'm not sick. I just had really, really bad seasonal allergies. And I get them on occasion, but I don't get them this bad. I haven't gotten them this bad in a long time. So it hit me at about Thursday, Friday, and I was out for the count. When it hits me, and it's just like drippy nose and foggy head, eyes dripping. It's really, really miserable. It's totally draining, and it's hard to be productive and get anything done, really. You're just kind of out of it. And then you take all these drugs to try and suppress the symptoms, but those make you pretty out of it on top of everything else. And then you don't get good rest because you're snotting all the time, hard to breathe, you don't sleep well. It's miserable, really miserable. So that, with those kind of conditions, that wouldn't have made a very good on-air stream. That would have been messed up. So unfortunately, I was not able to hit the ground running at the beginning of this week with the streams, and especially leading up into this Wednesday for My Wednesday Comics. But I'm feeling better. I kind of turned the corner probably Monday, Tuesday-ish. Once you get the drugs in your system and they start flowing, start evening out, it's better. And maybe the allergens have passed through. It's been quite windy and spring is here. So I think all those things put together really did a number on me as far as my allergies. And my wife told me, she read this article that apparently they shipped in all these tulips into the city, Maybe they had like a crazy crop or bloom of tulips and they brought them all into the city, had this huge tulip, whatever, exhibit, tulip something or other downtown. And then they were handing out free tulips to ever. I'm actually really allergic to tulips. I think they're a beautiful flower, but I'm really allergic to them. So maybe that contributed to it. I don't know. We don't live that close to downtown San Francisco. I have no idea, but possibly wind, pollen, who knows? It was bad. It was really bad. So apologies that I was out of commission for this week. But yesterday, as I had mentioned in my community post, yesterday was a great day for comics. A lot of fun stuff to come out. And I really wanted to talk about it this week. Won't be able to stream tomorrow. So I'm like, I got to get it done today. Got to do something today. I might be limited in time today with other stuff going on, but I had to stream today. So here I am. I drank my cough medicine before, so I'm not coughing all through stream. Got some cough drops ready. Got my water. We should be good. We should be good. But I'm really, really glad that I was able to kind of pull this off and get it going. So let's go. Let's go. Like Comrade Sammy says. Comrade Sammy says, let's go. Oh, what's up, Comrade Sammy? I've got something to add on to the stream a little bit. Just worked on it just a little bit, but this is the segment we like to call Shooting the Fat. And actually, I should have written Shooting the Fat. Shoot the Fat. Oh, well, there we go. Got a little logo for that. So this is the time we're going to catch up on the chat. Just catch up on life before we jump straight into the comics. That extends my stream by probably an hour. Don't go anywhere, anybody. But we'll try and keep it brief today because I am kind of limited on time. But I like to call this segment Shooting the Fat just because it's just the time to catch up and hopefully get caught up to the chat before we even get into looking at comics. Because then once you get into that multitasking of looking at the chat, looking at comics, talking about stuff, you guys all know it gets really bad. It gets really bad. I get behind quite a bit. What's up, Cranberry Langers? Awesome seeing you here.
This is a cranberry full of power.
Cranberry says he's doing job stuff, picked new comics. Oh, yes, I put in the poll. And how's that poll doing? For those of you who just joined in, as I catch in the chat, I started a poll before the stream even went to see what we should look at first. So the two options are I have something to unbox, which could be awesome, and which will be awesome, and then or new comics. And right now it looks like 67%, there's 6 votes going on, 67% say unboxing, 33% for new comics. So I'm down with that, but once I get through the chat, we'll look at the results of the poll and we'll do that. We'll do what's next. I always don't know. It's like, do you like unboxing first? So leave it up to the poll. Comrade Sammy says, since you're streaming, it means you've recovered enough from your sniffles. Yeah, well, we'll see. We will see, right? Katie is here. What's up, Katie?
Say cup of tea.
Cup of tea.
No.
Cup
a
of
cup
tea.
of tea.
For Katie. How's the UK doing? Do you guys get major seasons in the UK? Do you guys get allergies there too? It's really bad here. I mean, it's not bad all the time. I haven't had this happen to me in a while, in a few years, so it's gnarly. People saying hello to Katie. It's so good to see you again. Emo trash. Always as soon as I try to dedicate myself to being productive. You know what? I have no comment on that. Yeah, oh no, I did have a comment on that. No to productivity. If you want to be productive, probably should turn off the phone. I think that's how it works. That's how it works for me. Got to put that thing away. But you know what? You can try and maybe this will teach you how to be multitask a little bit better for both school and life. It's really hard. I mean, this is the culture we live in, right? With multiple screens. As a parent, you try and teach your kids, hey kids, back when I was a kid, we had to focus on this one thing and do. But to be honest, this is the generation we live in. So my kids can multitask with like music going on and screens on at the same time and the TV and their phones and iPad. And it's bananas. I am not that great at that, as you guys can tell. But this is the generation we live in. So you can do it, Emo Trash. I believe. Spelling is hard. Spelling. Cranberry Interest says, I put the link in the chat for Shanth. Oh yeah, that was one cool thing. Shanth cut that trailer for Springball Terminal Monstrosity. Just launched his campaign. I am so excited for Shanth and Jetty for his new project, Springball. That's a project that he worked on right after we graduated from college. And I was there kind of at the origination and the creation of that. I was witness to that, and it was an amazing journey, an amazing adventure for him to produce that comic book at the time, early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s, right off the heels of what Image was doing, and he was trying to be independent himself and produce this book that he really believed in, and it did great. He produced 2 issues of it, but it's amazing that. And I'm so happy that he decided to launch it now in this day and age. Totally different position for him as a creator, and so many more tools at his fingertips. And the stuff that he's working on it, I don't know if you guys have been able to see some of the streams where Shanth talks about Springball, but the what he's doing on it, and he's pretty much retouching every single panel on this book, is awesome. It's just awesome. It's just Shanth's evolution, Shanth's growing. And I love that he's relaunching Springball. It's so much from his heart and so much of who he was, what he loved at the time that he created it, and now injecting who he is and what he loves now into it. So it's going to be awesome. I know many of you guys probably have already backed it already, but if you haven't, go check it out. Watch the trailer again. Just go watch Shanth's streams and just fall in love with it. You don't even have to be forced to you don't have to be convinced to back that project. Just watch Shanth and just watch how much he loves this project, and it'll just make you want to support it. So I backed it already. I wasn't as fast as Mark's Music Obsession. Apparently Mark's Music Obsession, I don't know if he's here, Mark. If you're here, I haven't gotten to your chat yet, but Mark's Music Obsession, I think he said he was like backer number 5, and he was super fast on the draw there. But I backed it already. I backed the head sketch tier. I want an original head sketch by Shanth and Jetty in my book. That's amazing. Of Springball. It's like, so I don't know. It's just like a blast from the past, just like total nostalgia. So super excited about that campaign. I will be playing that trailer as long as that campaign is running for the next 30 days or so. I'll be playing that trailer before my streams to support Shanth. So go check it out if you haven't already. Emo Trash says it's going to be some level of forced productivity because what I'm working on is due at 6:30 tonight. Oh, geez. Okay, so 6:30, 12, 1, 2. So you got 4 hours. All right. Focus up, Emo Trash. Note to self, Rocky is scared by Fade to Black.
He goes, what's your name? He goes, John.
John, how are you doing? I'm not scared of Fade to Black. I actually needed a Fade to Black by Springball after that Springball trailer. It went too fast and it just like cut to my face too quick. I was waiting for that extra 5 seconds, so not at all afraid of Fade to Black. Abrupt, that's right. It was totally abrupt. Rocky, you need a tissue. I think I see a snot bubble. Oh boy. Please tell me if I have drips coming out and I don't notice it, give me like a nose emoji or something. Because that's possible. And I do not want to like subject you guys to drippy noses. I have seen myself with like bad cowlick angles, shiny foreheads, all of it. You guys have seen the worst. Tripping, falling cameras. Yeah, you guys have seen it all. So definitely let me know if I get snotty allergy nose though, because that would be really bad. Maybe it's because of the rain. Cranberry Ranger says, you know what? It hasn't rained. It's supposed to rain maybe in a couple days, tomorrow maybe, which I think will help. I would hope it was help, but I don't know. It's been really windy. So I can imagine that is blowing all the like pollen everywhere. Emo Trash says, ain't sounding any different. You're holding up better than my parents. Oh, okay. Are they dealing with allergies too? I mean, it's spring season, right? So longer days, pretty blooms and flowers. But for those of us with hay fever or, seasonal allergies, it's not good. Rocky has turned to drugs. Oh, the humanity. I'm actually not. When I was younger-ish, I was pretty against taking any kind of drugs. I was the kind of person that would like power through a sickness. As I've gotten older, I'm like, drug me. I mean, I'm not that bad. Not as bad as my wife. But yeah, I like my body to like give it a fighting chance. But when it comes to allergies, there's no way. I lose every time. So I need to stop the dripping like immediately. I will take Benadryl. I get affected by Benadryl quite easily. Like I'm pretty sensitive to it. I can take half a Benadryl and I'll already be drowsy. But so I don't like taking Benadryl during the day. And that's usually all that can stop any kind of like, the antihistamine stops the dripping. But when I get into a bad attack, I'm like, give me the Benadryl. I don't care if I'm drowsy. I just don't want my nose to be dripping so much. Excuse me. Rain increases plant growth, more pollen, harder hit allergies. Maybe. Yeah, it's all that probably. Drugs do help, Emo Trash says. Rocky, if it makes you feel better, on Monday, I had one of my teeth pulled from my noggin because apparently I cracked it. Ouch. Ugh. That ain't good. Would I rather have allergies or teeth pulling? Ooh, that's a tough one. It depends on how long the allergies last. I had probably about 2 to 3 days where they were very, very bad. Like I was out of commission. Teeth, if you had that pulled, I guess that might be 2 to 3 days. Might go with the allergies because you don't have to at least lose anything with it. Who knows? Spring ball has sprung. That's right. I didn't even know if that probably wasn't intentional from Sean. That he launched spring ball in the spring. Maybe. Sean should maybe he should add a tier, add a add-on to his campaign where he sells like balls, like rubber bouncy balls with a spring ball logo on it, right? That would be awesome. I'm gonna tell him that. Comrade Sammy's also in some pain. Sorry to hear that, Comrade Sammy. That sounds pretty bad. Anything tooth related? Ugh. Yeah. Emo's a drug head too. It's called Springtime. Humans are punished just because nature decided to wake up from her nap with attitude. Oh, nature. Cup of tea for Katie. If they ship them in from the Pacific Northwest, I know those tulips. I'm not sure. I didn't read the article. I should look it up. I don't know what happened, but tulips, I found out I was really allergic to tulips probably about a decade ago, where I always thought tulips are really they're beautiful flower, beautiful colors, nice structure. And I got a big bouquet for my wife for some occasion. And then I had a bad allergy attack and we had no idea. And I'm like, it can't be because of the flowers, could it? And then, so what we did, a little experiment, I like put it in our garage and closed the door for a couple hours. And then next thing I know, I was like, wow, I feel better. And then I pulled them out, tried it, and my allergies kicked in again. And I was like, yep, it's the tulips. And we had to chuck them. It's really sad. Stream ends when the NyQuil takes them out. That's right. Amanda B, hey, how's it going? Thank you for coming in here. I haven't seen you in a while. Thank you for joining us. How are you doing? Let's go. My Random Comics. That's right. Shooting the Fat. That's right. I got NyQuil at my side too. I probably need another dose, but I'm not doing too bad at the moment. Oh, is it allergies for you too? Yeah, it's an occupational hazard if you're streaming, I guess. Who would have known? I don't know how broadcasters do it. They must drug up. They must, right? Or actors, they must drug up somehow. But yeah. Unboxing is winning. Yep, we got 9 votes. We're still at 67%. So it looks like Unboxing might win the draw once we get at the end of Shooting the Fat. What's up, Alan Lau?
What?
I'm a computer.
How you doing, brother? Alan usually has bad allergies too. How are your allergies, Alan? Did you get hit by the tulipocalypse like I did? Because I know you're in the same town. So how are you doing, Alan? I haven't talked to you in a while. I just texted you. I texted you the other day. Oh, yeah, because I ran into our buddy. Sent him a picture of me and one of our old friends that I ran into the comic shop last week. But it's so good to see you, Alan. I hope you're well. We got to catch up soon. I would consider being a nuisance to Rocky as productive. All right, that's good. Check. I was being productive, actually. I've gotten the hard part out of the way at least. All right, that's good. That's good. Lloyd Burton? What's up, Lloyd Burton? I don't think I've seen you on my stream before. How are you doing, my friend? I know that I've seen you in Shant's streams before, and I believe Shant is working on an awesome commission for you, if I'm not mistaken. I think I saw that in person when I was at his house in January. So welcome, Lloyd Burton. Good to see new faces here on the channel. We are at 503 subscribers, which is amazing. Another reason why I wanted to get a stream in this week, because just got to keep pushing that boulder, keep pushing the momentum on it. Hopefully soon we will get to the point where we hit the number of watch hours. We're at the subscriber amount, 500, which is amazing. Thank you to everybody here who's subscribed. But we got to push that watch hours up a little bit more. So watch old shows, if you will. I've got old episodes of My Wednesday Comics, which for those of you who are new to my channel, I go through each week, try to go through each week faithfully. The comics that I pick up every Wednesday, we'll do that today. And also go through books that either are in my collection, I pick up at the library, or get shipped to me in that I unbox on stream. Books that I've bought or whatever, anything having to do with comics that excite me for that week. And surprisingly, I can always find something. There is rarely a week that I go through ever since I started this YouTube channel where I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to talk about this week about comics. Like, I can find something. Bad for my wallet, bad for my shelf space, but good for comics. And so, yeah, that's what I do. So I have a bunch of shows, I call them My Wednesday Comics, because I don't review all the comics that are out there. I just review with you guys, or look at the comics that I pick up that interest me, and hopefully give you an insight of why I pick up a particular book, or what I like about it, or what I don't like about it. And then I have and then I have another show that a regular-ish show that I do called a Master Study stream. And for those of you who saw on my community post, I am close. Here, I'll show you guys on stream now. I am close to finishing this Jim Steranko Master Study. Is that in focus? Right there. Got these two panels left. And if I can do it, I might, big quotes or big asterisk, might double stream today to finish up these panels, to switch over to my Master Study setup and finish these panels. We'll see. It's going to be a little bit of a scheduling, juggling act, but I'm trying to finish up that Master Study. I don't want it to drag out any longer, and it's so close. So we got 2 more panels to go. I can finish it in one stream. And the whole point of my Master Studies are to look at an artist that I admire. In this particular case is Jim Steranko, a Nick Fury page, and then create it from scratch, from a total blank page, pencil it, lay it out, pencil it, and ink it, and have a finished page reproduction of that page by the end of it. And the whole point is just so that I learn as I'm doing. It's getting better at the craft of creating comics. It's getting better at learning why these artists made choices the way they did. It's like using the tools and trying to get better at different tools and why, and just the different choices I make, and just give you guys an insight of and in real time of the decisions I'm making. So it's kind of cool. It's been fun. It's been fun doing that. And I've done several Master Studies of different artists. Mike Zeck, Punisher page that Mike Zeck did, Michael Golden, a page from The Nam, amazing miniseries that he worked on. Mobius, a page from a Silver Surfer story he did with Stan Lee. Will Eisner, a page from The Spirit. Barry Windsor Smith cover from Weapon X. And then this Jim Steranko page from Nick Fury, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So it's been super fun just doing these little master studies. And eventually, I want to turn that into working on my own stuff. And, that is another boulder that I am pushing forward, and has been fun kind of formulating how that would be. So anyway, lots of stuff, lots of content on my channel to watch, hopefully going back to getting those watch hours up. So if you guys are new to this channel, hit the like, go watch some of those old shows, and help me get those watch hours up. Looks great. Springball Creamery says, yes, it does. Did Shant put in a $250 tier like Coach Malin suggested? I don't know. I haven't been tracking that closely. I just saw the tier I wanted, backed it, and then ran out of there. But he's doing great. He had a great launch for that book. I think he's at, what's he at now? 16,360. I think that campaign launched 3 days ago. So that's amazing. That is an amazing launch for Sean, and he's super excited about it. And he's working hard in the book. The book is going to be great. Maybe Sean will do a head sketch of you. No, I don't want him to do a head sketch of me. I want Springball by Sean. It would be amazing. Rocky, if we tell you have a snot bubble, it'll be 20. I know. That's right. It'll be like this. That's true. Broken model. Rocky, my mom's voice is gone. Yeah. That happens to me too. That happened to me some of the first few days. It was like I was coughing so much. I had such a raspy voice at the end of it. And then I was also really stuffed up. I still hear it. But yeah, it's not good. And then you get sometimes you get a slightly bloody nose because you're blowing your nose so much. It's miserable. It's miserable because it's constant. You can't. Yeah, it's just constant, and it just drains you. Shant paints awesome head sketches. He does. He's amazing. He's so dedicated, and he just puts his all in everything. For those of you who know Shant or followed Shant, you just know he puts 150% in everything, and it makes for an incredible product. And it's so authentic and it's so personal, even though he's handling, hundreds, thousands of orders or whatever. Everything he tries to do so carefully. And he's like that in person too. If you were to meet him, he's like that in person. He's really personable and authentic, and he sees people. So it's awesome. I think Shant had that experience. He's told this story a number of times of meeting one of his idols, Todd McFarlane, and how personable he was. And that made a huge impact on Shant. And he's done that himself when he's met people just as a friend. Is great. So go back him, support him. Emo Trash said, Dad stayed home for a day. I think Mom's been working all the way through because her job doesn't really let her call off that suddenly. Yeah, it's miserable. Nobody's like, oh yeah, allergies, take a day off. Yeah, it's kind of just drug it up. It's not. I would much prefer to have a cold. Sorry, Comrade Sammy. Sounds bad. All right. Take a cold over a cracked tooth, everybody says. Yes. Have no clue how I cracked it. It's been like that for a while. I just didn't notice it. Ouch. That's tough. Mark's music obsession. There he is. Spring balls. Good idea. Hey, Rocky and the gang. What's up, Mark? Good to see you. Thanks. We'll tell Shant. Everybody tell Shant. Rocky just came up with the next tier. The $250 tier. It's a spring ball. Oh, man. Lucky for me, my wisdom tooth is supposed to grow in place of that tooth that was removed. Wow. Who knows? I don't understand wisdom teeth. I really don't. They're so odd. And you think that, like, my wife had an experience where she just found out way late in life, like a year or two ago, that she had like wisdom teeth up there. And nobody had told her up till that point that they were there. I was told I had wisdom teeth, like, I think when I was like 15 or 16, and then they had them removed. Usually, I think you have 4, and I only had 2. So I was lucky just to have 2 removed. But her point being was like, why didn't anybody tell me this when I was much younger? Like, it was crazy. So I don't understand wisdom teeth. They don't seem wise at all at me. It's kind of an ironic name, wisdom tooth, when nobody really knows why they're there. They don't really give you more wisdom. All right, everybody's saying, hey, hello. Very cool to be here. Thanks, Lloyd. We appreciate you being here. Alan Lau says, Bay Area allergies are trying to kill me. My eyes are like 2 swollen beeholes. Oh, Alan. Oh, my gosh. As long as it is a live stream and not a snot stream. Yeah. Rocky derailed my afternoon project. That's a good thing. Sorry about that, Mark. Yep. Hopefully it'll be fun. R.I.P. Alan Lau and his beehole eyes. I have a wisdom coming in its place, so I'm really not that dis. Hopefully it comes in straight, comments at me. Those wisdom teeth, man, they're a little unpredictable. The Navage machine is your friend. The Navage machine. What the heck is that? Is that like a neti pot? I've tried a neti pot a long time. I'm going to write this down, Mark. Okay, for those of you who don't know, I like to put down notes for myself because so much good stuff or comments come in and I forget unless I watch the whole stream go. So I like to put a little note so it's an easy reminder. Navage machine. I don't know what that is. I've tried a neti pot many years ago when they were like all the rage. And it was probably the worst experience I've ever had in my life in terms of allergies. I would rather deal with allergies than trying a neti pot. I just felt like I was drowning. Yeah, it was bad. I did not like the neti pot. So Navage machine, I got to look that up. You're the first I've heard that has tried it. John's heard of it. Huh. Feel better, Rocky. Inks look dope. Thanks, Alan Lau. Trying. Been wondering about, I know, right? Emo trash. I fell behind, but I'm close. We're close here. Okay. Your imagery is very effective. Very effective, and I hate it. Yes, I use it after mowing, trimming to clear out that mess, and it does a great job of that. What the heck is a Navage machine? I just want to see. Oh my gosh. That sounds insane. I mean, that sounds insane. That looks insane. That looks like a robot. I mean, it looks like a dehumidifier, but for your nose. Oh, I see an Instagram video of one. Oh no, I don't know if I could do that, Mark. I don't know. I don't know if I could do that. It's not going bad. I found what helps with a stuffy nose is to put Vicks VapoRub under your bottom lip. Under your bottom lip, like here? That's interesting. I remember as a kid, my grandma would rub Vicks on my feet, and then I'd wear socks. I don't know if that's an Asian thing. When I was sick, that supposedly helped. It was really weird. I've never heard under my bottom lip before, though. That sounds kind of painful. Vicks VapoRub always, I don't know, I have bad memories as a kid. Like it burning really bad. Directly under the nose is too intense. Yes, that's what I do right here. And then it would, I haven't used Vicks VapoRub in a long time, though. Lloyd Burton is sans wrench, John says. Oh my goodness. John already calling it out. You know what? I'm going to be a little conservative here, Lloyd Burton. If you haven't noticed, almost everybody in my chat is wrenched, which is crazy, but also fun. But I will say, let's say this, since this is the first time I've seen you here in my chat, let's say this, next time you show up, next stream, I promise you, Lloyd Burton, I will wrench you. How about that? Because John's recommendations come very strong, and he hasn't failed me yet. So I don't take that lightly. I'm sure he knows you well. So, John, we're going to be a little bit conservative here, but I'm more than willing to if I see Lloyd Burton again. Will likely require more before class. Yep. Pick something up from the campus bookstore cafe. Nice. Thank you for the recommendations. A spring ball paddleball set. Tell him, Rocky. Spring ball pickleball set. Huh? Anybody? Mighty Geek Studios, what's up? Find a pinball soundbite to play when you mention spring ball. Oh, that's a good idea. That is a good idea. Let me write that down. You guys are full of good ideas. Spring ball pinball. I don't think I have a pinball machine sound handy or built into what Ecamm does, but that's a great suggestion. I love it. We're going to be talking a lot about spring ball as long as Sean's campaign's going, so that would be a good ad. I'm simply choosing to ignore my wisdom teeth unless they start hurting. I don't know if that's a good idea, Emo Trash. I think you gotta take them out as soon as you can. Unless your dentist say, well, it's gonna be fine. Because what could happen, and this is what happened to my wife, is they could get impacted up there and get infected. And then you'd end up having to take it out anywhere, and it's a lot more painful. So I would defer to your dentist about that. They could always not work or make things worse. I don't know. I had bad allergies when I moved to a new state. I don't remember if I used the Vicks for the allergies or cold, whichever one. Wisdom teeth is probably called wisdom teeth because they come in when you're older and hopefully wiser. Probably right about that, but I have issue with the name. Just because you're older doesn't mean you're wiser. Just means you're older. Navage machine is automated and $80 to $130 to drown yourself. Automatically drown yourself. I don't know about that. It looks like what are those snoring machines? Oh gosh, CPAP. It looks like a bastard cousin of a CPAP machine with water, which CPAP machines are horrible. Did you? Oh, Emo Trash. I have failed you. I'm going to put it in my notes, though. You've told me this a number of times, and I have not done it yet. Oops. Epic, the musical. I know I made myself a note on that, but I'm just doing it again because I don't want to forget. I will do it. Before next stream, I'll do it. Emo. Oops. Doop. All right. Almost caught up here. Then we can get to, what are we looking at? 73%. Okay, if you guys haven't voted yet, it seems like everybody here has. We got 11 votes. 73% says unboxing is what we're going to do first. Seems like we're going to do unboxing unless all of a sudden randomly 10 people come in here and change the vote. So we're going to do both. We'll do unboxing new comics. It's just what I do first. A nose robot. Yep. On sale for $80 now on Amazon. Oh my gosh. I don't know if you could pay me to do that. I have zero recollection of this, but my grandma says she'd usually put some Vicks on a wash rag and pin it to the inside. Yes, I've heard that. I've heard it like similarly, like on the tip of a blanket or a handkerchief, and then you just smell it when you need it. I do remember my grandma would put on my feet and underneath my nose, and it would burn like the dickens under my nose, and I never, as an adult, ever did that again. Vicks is a good trick. Yeah, maybe I should get Vicks again. Bold of you to assume I wasn't already defiant before meeting Sammy, though she's been excellent encouragement. Emo Trash is going to hold me to that. Epic the Musical. I will definitely check it out. I've waited too long, Emo Trash. Almost caught up. Rocky has not refreshed the chat. No, I have, right? Right? Okay, let me look at the poll. Here we go. 12 votes, 67% says unboxing. We are going to do the unboxing right now, right here. Get ready. Excuse me. All right, we're not shooting the fat anymore. Goodbye. Shooting the fat is gone. We are now moving to... Oh, that's my water bottle. Unboxing. How are we doing on time? We're doing okay. Sort of. What's the time? Oh. All right, let's get to the unboxing. Here we go. It's a literal box, which is great. That means more stuff. I know where this came from. This came from a store called In Stock Trades. Is that right? InStockTrades.com. One of my go-to stores for buying stuff. They have really good discounts on graphic novels in particular. So check them out, InStockTrades.com. They have great sales, and I am also on an email list, which is bad. Anytime I'm on any kind of email list for anything that I buy stuff from, it's bad. Oops. Because you always see the next order come in, and you're like, oh, I could get that. All right, I just got to get all kind of incriminating evidence out before. Okay, this is cool. This is 3 graphic novels. And sometimes they can be as cheap as like 40 to 50% off. So if you're looking for graphic novels, they have a wide selection. Let's see, what's a good order? Good order to look at this. We'll do this. Boom. This just came out not too long ago. I think I just saw it at the store this week. I don't know if it just came out this week, maybe last week. Jeff Loeb, Tim Sale, Daredevil, Yellow, which Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale, you guys know, worked on Long Halloween together. And that was kind of their big pairing. And then after Long Halloween, they started working on all sorts of stuff. So I don't know the order. I don't know the exact order. But it was like they did kind of different color-themed books together. So Daredevil Yellow, they did Spider-Man... Was it blue? Captain America Red, White, and Blue. There was all these color themes. They say it in the back here. You guys can look it up. But it was kind of cool because they just ran with it. And I've been becoming more and more, maybe over the last year, year and a half, a bigger fan of Tim Sale than I have been in the past. Unfortunately, when Tim Sale was alive, I liked his work, but I wasn't like really crazy about it. There was something about the styling that I wasn't totally jiving with. But now as time has gone on and when he passed away, it's really when I started looking at his work more, unfortunately, and starting appreciating it more. And last week, one of the books I was talking about was Thieves' World, which was one of his original or earliest comic book work that was published. And that's awesome. I just read through a couple of those volumes this past week, and they've been really good. Just his storytelling and his craft in it is amazing. And it's just developed. And then, then he started drawing some of the hottest characters in both DC and Marvel. Daredevil, Spider-Man, Batman, Superman. And he did most of all of his most successful work was paired up with Jeff Loeb. So when I saw that this was coming out, it was relatively cheap at In Stock Trades. I decided to grab it. I've never read this series. I didn't read this series when it came out originally as individual issues. And so I've never ever actually read this book. But here they are playing up Daredevil's yellow costume, which was one of the, Now he's in his red costume here. But I'm assuming most of this book he's going to be in his yellow costume. Yeah, this costume right here. Which I like his all red costume the best. I think it just goes with the Daredevil character, the Daredevil name better. But it's cool to see his other costume. It's always a fun thing or an interesting thing to see if characters, especially super popular characters, can survive a major costume change. I'm trying to think if there's any major costume change on a character that is like Wolverine is probably, some of the X-Men are probably the best example of characters that have gone through major costume changes and have survived. Is it mostly a Marvel thing where it survived? Spider-Man with his black costume, that was such a huge game changer when it happened in Secret Wars. But it was such a cool costume. I remember as a kid thinking it was such a cool costume that it became my favorite costume after a while. And then, of course, the whole Venom thing. This is cool. There's great colors in this. Sorry, just jumping around and looking at this and talking about costumes at the same time. But Matt Hollingsworth is the colorist on this. He's awesome. He's a great colorist. Oh, let me end the poll because we're already doing the unboxing. Make the unboxing window big, Rocky. John always says that. John doesn't like my 2-window. He doesn't like this. John doesn't like the side-by-side. It's called a transition, John. It's as if it's the fade to black that I needed from Shant's trailer. It gives you a little bit of a second to like transition to the scene. It's not a hard cut. It's cool. Look at these colors. Can you guys see the subtlety in the colors here? Playing up the yellow, right? It's Daredevil yellow. So I think that's the cool thing. It's like a gimmick of calling this book Daredevil Yellow. And he could have easily just colored it all in yellow tones, which could or couldn't have worked. But I like how they are keeping the yellow as like the emphasis, the highlight, the focus, but also still coloring the book. But all these colors are like nicely muted back, pushed back there. It's like purples to balance out the yellow or to complement the yellow. But like see here, all these yellows here, this yellow sound effect, like it's all intentional. You can see all this nice watercolory texture too that they're doing with the colors, which works really well. They did this they've done this quite a bit with Tim Sale's work. Tim Sale is such a pen and ink guy. So it's when the colors are more painterly or textured next to that hard pen and ink, graphic pen and ink. Sometimes it can work, sometimes it doesn't, but it works really well here. So I love it. Only to a handful of the songs, really. Can blame my boy for this one in particular. Never heard of Epic the Musical till my boy came over listening to it on a multiple. All right, cool. I'll for sure listen to it. Cranberry Landers says, I like the windows on the cover. Yeah, this is cool. I'm assuming, just based on this cover, that a lot of this has to do with his dad. What's his dad's name? What was his dad's first name? Something Murdoch. But he was a boxer, and that's kind of part of Daredevil's history, part of his story. So they're probably focusing on that story a lot here. Matt Murdoch, but his dad was what? I don't remember what his dad's name was. Mike Murdoch? I don't remember. Oh, cool. He's suiting up here. That's cool. Cool image. This with the yellow costume. Jack Murdoch, that was his name. It's a nice pencil sketch of that cover. Yeah, it looks like I would have I wonder, I don't think they talk about it in this back. Oh, maybe they do. This process, this watercolory process, like how do they do that? Did they do that on the original black and whites? It's kind of cool because something that I really admire about Tim Sale's work, it's very stylized. The way that he draws figures, they're not realistic, very stylized. But he's got a great sense of scale in what he draws, the angles he picks. That's nice color treatment here. To add these like speed lines, but it's all color. That's cool. And going back to admiring Tim Sale more, he's a great storyteller, like with comic storytelling and how he paces stuff out. I think the reason I didn't attach to his work as much when I was younger was I was so into like the Image Comics look of stuff. All the lines and the details and the splash pages. And Tim Sale is almost simplified more. And his styling was more simplified compared to those guys. They were all like muscled out and everything. And his was just a little bit more delicate. And but his storytelling is great. Look at these angles. Such a close-up angle on Daredevil's face. And then this cool angle of him jumping on top of the cars, sliding down, great perspective, sliding down this staircase and then flipping over here, being framed by this silhouette of the subway. It's cool. Yeah. Tim Sale was a beast, man. He was great. And I feel like this more so than even Long Halloween, the colors are playing a big part of this. The painterliness of the colors are playing a big part in this. Great job, Matt Hollingsworth. Cool. Oh, nice. Thing. Fantastic Four. Awesome. Look at that. Human Torch. That's great. Really curious about that movie coming out soon, the Fantastic Four movie. We'll see. Cross their fingers. We'll see how it does. I don't know if anybody's been watching the Daredevil Born Again Marvel TV series. I have not started watching that. I've heard a lot of people say good things about it. I have not started watching that yet. So this will get me in the mood to watch some Daredevil stuff. It's great. Yeah, I love it. I love this. This series looks great. I hate all those red, blue, black, yellow series, Cranberry Ledger says. Although I like the Daredevil cover. Here's the link to the playlist. Okay, cool. Awesome. Thanks, Emo Trash. I think I like Daredevil's metal accented outfits. Really? Ugh, I didn't like that one at all. That one was like bad 90s design, in my opinion. It didn't make sense for me because Daredevil is such a nimble, agile character, flipping around in the shadows of Hell's Kitchen. To have him wear like big metal pointy armor, that didn't make sense. Like, how could you flip around and not cut yourself or make noise? That's great. Great double page spread there. Electro. Yeah. Tim Sale's good, man. Super good. I just didn't appreciate it as much as I do now when it came out. All these colors have kind of this yellowish tone to it, which is tricky, right? You don't want it to look like pee-pee. Doesn't look like a sepia, you know, like a old-timey feel. This has like a yellowish feel to it too, but it's black and white. It's great. All these are in yellows. Yeah, I love the color treatment. It's smart, very smart in this. Not so like hit you over the head. I feel like some of those books, the ones that I was mentioning earlier and that Cranberry doesn't like, some of those kind of hit it on the head a little, like hit the nail on the head, hit it on the nose, directly on the nose a little too. This, I feel like the coloring on this is a lot more subtle, but still on theme. That's cool. That's a cool Daredevil pose. These purples to balance out the yellows, or complement the yellows again. It's great. I love that. This is something that only comic books can do. It's like multiple poses in one panel to show movement and position. Here's back to the red outfit. Cool. There's a sketchbook here at the back. Always love this behind the scenes kind of stuff. Awesome. There we go. First one out of the box, Daredevil Yellow. Very excited to read through this story. Jeff Loeb isn't my favorite writer in comics, although he's super accomplished. But I'm not the biggest Jeff Loeb fan, but this looks like a solid story, just from what I can see, kind of the moments that they're picking here. So, oh yeah, and this page kind of mirrors that end page. Him in this red outfit and all these different poses mirrors this page. It's kind of cool. It's great. Love it. Daredevil Yellow. This just came out. I believe this compilation came out. I'm sure they've compiled this many times, but for some odd reason, this one just came out new. So yeah, pick it up. Daredevil Yellow. Rocky what? What did I say? What happened, John? Oh, you guys. No, I'm not trans. A transition, a visual transition, not a physical one. I like Tim Sale's work. Cranberry Landry says, I like how he does his eyebrows and face shapes. Yeah, they're so interesting, so unique, and just went against the curve of where the popular comics were going. He just did his own thing. And when you look at his Thieves World stuff, it's pretty consistent. Like, pretty consistent how he was trying to tell stories. And he was very confident in his own storytelling and stylistic capabilities. Never wavered from it. His rendition of Batman's not my favorite, but he just stuck with it with the crazy long ears, and his rendition of Joker, not my favorite, but kind of cool, very signature Tim Sale. So, yeah, I admire the guy a lot. And he did a lot of work. Even though he passed away early, he produced a lot of great comics. So, big fan. Coffee time for John. Awesome. For those playing around at home. Battling Jack Murdoch. That's right. Not, what did I say, Mike? Just a heads up then that the best songs are in the latter half of it. Okay, will do. Rings a bell. Do I have a bell? Kind of. great interiors, great Human Torch, yes. I just don't like emphasizing the less iconic color of the characters. Yeah, I understand. And it did feel kind of like a gimmick after a while, but this one in particular feels really smart the way they did it. The metal outfit doesn't make sense. The red outfit makes more sense given Daredevil's power set needing to have that most sensory input. Yes. Have chicken nuggets. Awesome. Oh, geez. Yeah, I would think you would just be doing like soups and smoothies, Comrade Sammy, not chicken nuggets. Go use the, were you on the stream that Shelby posted the Raising Cane sauce? Go use that. I liked it because it looked more intense. Oh, the metal? It was weird. It didn't feel in character to me. My dad had a couple teeth pulled just recently. I said, how are you recovering? Are you okay? And he's like, I'm good. I'm eating nuts and chips right now. And I'm like, why are you eating nuts and chips right after you got your teeth pulled? Oh my gosh. I remember that Daredevil page with Daredevil moving through the environment. I might hate this conceptually as I haven't really looked at the book in many a moon. Time to look at it again, Cranberry Langers. It looks great. Honey mustard also goes with the theme of Daredevil yellow. Don't eat the crunchy things, Comrade Sammy. Eat eggs if you want something savory. That's not hard. I'm kidding. The nuggets definitely aren't crunchy enough to do any sort of damage. Okay, calm down, everyone. Comrade Sammy's got this. All right, here we go. Let's move along. Moving right along. Borderline number 3. So I don't know if you guys remember or not. And I don't blame you if you don't. I throw a lot of things at you, but I picked up some of these books at different times. I picked up like 1 and 4 at a comic book store in Las Vegas. And then I picked up 2 at another comic book store in Central California. So I was missing number 3. It's a 4-volume set. This series called Borderline by Eduardo Rizzo and Carlos Trillo. And I love it because it's the style of it, I haven't read it, very Frank Miller, Sin City storytelling, very noir kind of storytelling, and black and white indie cyberpunk kind of feel to it. Looks incredible. The artwork looks incredible. So when I got the first 2 volumes, I think it was 1 and 4, I was like, this looks amazing. But I didn't want to start reading it without having the full story. I guess I could have read issue 1 or volume 1 and then just waited. But these aren't that hard to find, but they're not that available either because they were produced by Dynamite. Not that well known of a comic book company, kind of a smaller tier company. And so not many comic book stores carry it. And it came out in 2011. Volume 4 came out in 2011. Volume 1 came out in 2006. So a 5-year period. I had never heard of it before I found it. So, needless to say, hard to find all the volumes together at a relatively affordable price. But In Stock Trades had the one I was missing, which was volume 3. And so that was part of the unboxing. I'll just flip through it really quick just to remind you guys what we're up against here as far as the story and the art style. But for sure, very much Sin City, high contrast black and white art. I dig it immensely. I love this look, especially for an indie book and especially for this material. It just fits really well. It's got super moody, high contrast lighting, and Eduardo Rizzo's character designs are incredible. His storytelling is incredible. He's most well known for working on 100 Bullets, but he's done so many different series outside of that and one-shots. He's done Batman stories. He did one of the issues, or the very first issue of Batman Long Halloween, Last Halloween, the current series that is out right now. He did issue 1 of that series, and it's incredible. It's one of my favorite ones from the series so far. That's a new book that I have that I'll look at today. I picked up the newest issue of that one. And that is based off of Tim Sale and Jeff Loeb's Batman Long Halloween, the original story. So all connected. But yeah, really cool stuff. Great compositions, great lighting, great designs. I'm super excited. Finally, my set is complete and I can actually sit down and read the whole thing and understand what's going on. But yeah, I won't linger too long on this because I have flipped through the other books before, and this is just a piece of the puzzle, but it was one of the books that came in from in-stock trades. Really cool. Great stuff. Different from... So, as you guys know, I love that black and white indie vibe artwork, but this is very different from Thieves' World, the Tim Sale stuff that we looked at a week or two ago, because Rizzo doesn't use that much hatching. It's really clean, and then just does some texture lines or patterns, like brick patterns or whatever, like crack patterns here, but he doesn't do like a lot of hatching. And Thieves' World, in contrast, also black and white, also stark lighting, but uses a lot of hatching and cross hatching as part of its visual language. So it's awesome. They're both independent books. They're both black and white, but they have very different feel to it. Look at this composition. That's awesome. Lots of silhouettes in this. It's great. Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, if this maybe the story is crazy, but I don't know why not many people have talked about this series, because it's stunning. The artwork's amazing. And then the writer, they're both from, let's see, Eduardo Rizzo is from Argentina. I think they're both from Argentina, Carlos Trio and Eduardo Rizzo. Carlos Trio is a writer, I think, just a writer. And he also created a series called Cyber 6, which was really popular with an artist named Carlos Meglia, who I've looked at some of his work before on stream. But he passed away. They did a dedication at the beginning of this to... Oh, no. They did the dedication... Here. Carlos Trio died in 2011. So I think this was maybe the last book that he worked on before he passed away. And then Rizzo, he's still alive and he's still working in mainstream comics. There you go. Borderline, Volume 3 to complete my set. There's Borderline 4. That's 1 and 2. Cool stuff. If you're into this kind of genre, it's great. I don't know anything about the story yet, but I will let you guys know once I finish how it goes. It looks amazing. Does look great. The interiors, Rocky. I think cyberpunk. Yes, very cyberpunk. If you're into cyberpunk, this post-apocalyptic, this feels right in line there. Dark. Like, it doesn't look like a happy story. Love that. Love how simple that face is. Look how hard those blacks are. It's awesome. Rocky, as your channel becomes more popular, you're going to need to be mindful of the nudity suggestions. Yes. Thank you, John. The monetization bot is much more piggy. Thank you very much for reminding me that. I'll have to be quick on the draw as I flip through these things, because I know there was a few little surprises, let's say, in that Borderline book. So thank you for the reminder. People might not have talked about the series so much because there aren't heroes in skin type multicolor. It's true, maybe. both of them being from Argentina, at pretty much any country outside of America has a wider breadth of genres that comics can touch. I feel like that kind of genre has existed a lot in UK books, European books for sure. And I'm trying to think in American comic books, like futuristic cyberpunk stuff. There has been some, but that's probably why it didn't get a wide distribution. You're right, Cranberry Rangers. I think I read Cyber 6. Yeah, Cyber 6 was, there was a book. I think it was an ongoing series. And then they did an animated series. And that was really popular. It got translated in English and it aired. I remember it aired it wasn't mainstream or primetime, but it aired kind of at weird times when I was able to catch it. I remember being like, oh, weird. It's showing at this very odd time because it wasn't super popular like the shows that were out at the time. And then if I'm not mistaken, the American animated series of Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego was based a lot, or had a lot of influence from Cyber 6. So that was super popular when I was growing up. And yeah, I think it drew a lot of similarities to Cyber 6. Borderline art looks great. Great blocking, like the heavy blacks. Yes, good layouts. Yep. That's awesome. Monetization bot is just a boring prude. Americans tend to be more interested in stories that take place in America or fantasy lands. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I don't know why. Whenever I think of UK for these post-apocalyptic stories, I think of Judge Dredd and 2000 AD, weird in the future kind of dark stories, and this kind of fits in there. There's another series that I really like the look of, and I'm reading through these volumes. It's called Bad Company, and that lives in the 2000 AD world as well. And it's this military story, but it's in a post-apocalyptic future, and it's a black and white art. It's awesome. Plus the lack of superheroics. Yes. Yeah. Speaking of which, this is the third book that came out of that box. Astonishing X-Men, to finish up the Joss Whedon run. These are volume 2, issues 13 through 24. So the first one I got was maybe about a month or two ago, was this volume 1 of the Joss Whedon series. And then this is the conclusion of that series, ending in, I remember this is a very classic ending right there with the rocket taking off. But yeah, just wanted to, this is the John Cassidy, Joss Whedon run on Astonishing X-Men. I thought it was really great when I first read it and it first came out. I was a huge fan of Joss Whedon's writing, particularly with Firefly, that TV show Firefly. I was a giant fan of that show. Alan Lau in the chat was the one who introduced me to Firefly, and I was like, this is the weirdest thing. And Alan Lau is a big Trekkie, and so he knew of Joss Whedon's writing abilities through Trek. And then Firefly came along, and he was like, you have to watch this show. Just get through the first, and he actually showed it to us in this particular order. It wasn't the very first episode that aired. He showed it to me in a certain way, and after I watched that first episode, I was hooked, and then I just blasted through the rest of the series, watched the movie Serenity. But great characters, great plot, futuristic ragtag bunch of characters in a spaceship in the Firefly, and just an awesome story. So Joss Whedon, as we know, went on to become the superstar writer that he was and fan favorite until he fell from grace, but also the creator of Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel. All those series all came before Firefly. Al now, a big fan of those series as well. So then when I found out Whedon was writing on X-Men, I was like, wow, okay, I got to check it out. John Cassidy, amazing artist, also passed away. Man, we lost some great artists recently. And so yeah, they had this run on it, and it's good. It's a good story. I really liked it. Felt like it was a lot of the stuff that they did actually in this series influenced the movies. So yeah, Cassidy's stuff is great, and it's fun to I grew up on X-Men with Chris Claremont, Mark Silvestri, John Romita Jr., Paul Smith, Jim Lee. That was my core love of the X-Men. Definitely Chris Claremont was at the foundation of that. And so it was always been hard for me to really get on board with other writers that took up different X-Men stories. But I do feel like Joss Whedon did a great job on this run. And I read it when it came out. I had all the individual issues, and then I lost them in one of the floods that I've experienced in my life. And so I'm glad that I am going to revisit it now with these new compilations. And I've gotten a new appreciation of John Cassidy's work. Read his Planetary Omnibus. And when I found out he died, that's when I was like, man, I got to look at his work again. And he's just great. I hate to say it, that when artists die, it's like, oh, I should be looking at their work. That shouldn't be a good reason. That should not be the reason that I look at people's work, is because they die. But sad to say, not that these guys weren't lauded when they were alive, but sad to say, it does make you appreciate their work a lot more when you don't have any new versions of it coming out. One awesome characteristic of John Cassidy's work that I've read and also agree with as a description of his work is it's always really cinematic. And I think maybe because he chooses to do these wide ratio for his panels, which feel like film, you know what I mean? Like a widescreen anamorphic lens framing of his film. But just the angles he picks, it just feels like this could be a movie. Then you get Joss Whedon, who's written for TV and movies, writing it, creating these characters, putting them in these situations. So it's a great pairing. The coloring is also really great on Cassidy's work. And I'm pretty sure it's, Laura Martin, who she's collaborated with Cassidy a lot. But yeah, her colors are awesome on his work. Excuse me. Van Gogh's death seemed to be his rise to fame. Fair enough. Exactly, Rocky. Appreciate them while they're here. Yeah. That just goes not just artists, but people. They say the best compliments people hear about themselves are at their funerals, and they're not really hearing them at that point, which is a sad fact, sad reality. So take that as you will, don't wait till somebody dies to tell them how much they mean to you or how much you love them or whatever. Don't wait till that moment. That's too late. Do it while they're around. Because you never know. You never know what's going to happen. We don't have tomorrow. That's for sure. And it doesn't even have to be as dramatic as death, right? It could just be like, you don't know. Somebody might move away, or you change jobs, or they grow up, they leave your house, all that kind of stuff. It all applies. Like we take for granted what's in front of us until we don't have it anymore. So it helps give you a perspective of how you should treat people in the present or appreciate what you have. All this stuff looks amazing. I can't wait to read this again. Most of these are, okay, here we break into non-widescreen panels, but most of these are super wide. Cassidy was a great cover artist too. Yeah, this is some of his best work. Even better than some of the planetary stuff he did, in my opinion. It's great. Some of this color stuff could be overdone in this day and age of computer coloring, but this is nice. Really great lighting here and mood. And I love Laura Martin's colors. She did some awesome stuff in the Planetary Omnibus. And I think that was when she was first starting to work with John Cassidy. But some of her choices you could already see from the get-go were like, wow, this girl, she knows her color theory. And when you pair her with somebody who draws like John Cassidy does, they make magic. And I love how John Cassidy, like, he definitely has some like reference he's looking at. He's kind of in the realm, in the range of an artist like Adam Hughes, who they can draw photo reference, but they're also stylizing it. But it feels real, feels believable, but it doesn't feel so realistic that it's like, it looks like a photo. Speaking of which, total tangent. The new Absolute Wonder Woman came out this week, and it's a different artist than the regular artist. Hayden Sherman is the regular artist on it. And I flipped through it, and I almost picked it up, but it was very painted realism, and it just didn't appeal to me, so I put it back on the rack. It's good. It's good art, but it just didn't. I almost got it just so that I could talk about it with you guys and say, this is great, but it's actually not my cup of tea. My cup of tea, Katie. And Cassidy, like, he runs that line, like, that works for me. It's like it feels realistic based on reality, but it's also comic stylization and abstraction. And there's a style to it. And I love it. Like, I would totally buy stuff like this versus somebody who just makes it look hyper real and perfectly real. Cassidy draws very, very epic scaled stuff too. It's great. Whoop. Yeah. Yeah, the lighting and the coloring on this is awesome. Beautiful. Cool stuff. This is great. I haven't read this in a long time. Wow, look at this Spider-Man. Great cover. Oh, this is also including giant-sized Astonishing X-Men #1. Great. Yeah, Laura Martin's colors are amazing. And I feel like this Joss Whedon run This is where they really made White Queen interesting, even more interesting character. I guess Grant Morrison did some of that too, but Joss Whedon for sure. I remember her character being more interesting. When I grew up with the White Queen, this gal, she was just the baddie from the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, or the Hellfire Club. Yeah, she was just a evil controlling force, but they made her a lot more interesting. Look at these colors. It's crazy choices, but I love it. Great covers, great drawings. I remember when these came out, I was like, wow, those covers are super bold. Great. That was awesome. A lot of great art in this. Astonishing X-Men, Volume 2, the second half of the Whedon run. Unstoppable. Indeed, she do know the color theory. 10 out of 10. Marty Lum, what is up, Marty? Oh my gosh. Wait. Is this? Wait. Where did you come from, Marty? Oh gosh, I'm behind now. I think of those, but I read stuff from other countries, bande dessinée and Oriental comics. They called Oriental comics, Grammar Landers. I just had this conversation with my family about the word Oriental. Some people think it's offensive. It's from the Orient, I guess. But do we call Asia the Orient still? Not really. It's kind of an older term. It was awesome. Couldn't get past the first 2 episodes of Fire. The first episode that aired, I don't know what order you watched it in. The first episode you aired was not the best. I feel like it was like the 4th episode was the one that Alan showed me first. Something like that. It was out of order, but it was like so incredible. And then you go back and watch the other ones. She part of showed. Yes. Yeah. If Alan Lau is still in the chat, he can give us the order, or I can look it up. I think there's like a set order that you should watch it, but it's similar to, what was the other? There was another series I watched. It was like the order that they released it, that they aired it, was the worst order. Oh, I can't remember if the first one I watched was the train heist one, or if that was the one that I should have watched first. Anyway, if Alan Lau's here, he can let us know. Nuggets are gone. Teeth are still intact. Okay, wait. I gotta find. Where is it? True. Seems the fastest way to suddenly become relevant is simply pass away. Yep. People fear the fifis. You mean a lot to me, bro. Marty Lum. One of my goodest, bestest friends. How are you doing, Marty? You have time? What are you doing right now, dude? You have time? Hung out with Marty yesterday. We had a good old time yesterday. We were working on some cool ideas, right, Marty? Lighting on this one feels very cinematic. It is, absolutely. Rocky, why is Marty sans wrench? I don't know. You know what? Marty, it's because Marty doesn't come in here enough to be wrenched. Just kidding. I'm wrenching him. Check it out. There you go, Marty. Marty, you're wrenched now. Now, this is no offense to Lloyd Burton. Lloyd, if you are still here, no offense to you. Marty and I go way back. Marty's been on a few streams. He was even the star of a couple of my streams. Comics Now, which I have not done another one, Marty. So what say you? You are wrenched now. Should we do another Comics Now, starring Marty Lum? Originally, it wasn't supposed to just be Marty. It was supposed to be a bunch of different people. But then Marty just was the one who was available the most and willing to do it with me. And as many of you guys know, Marty is also a firefighter, which is why he has a little bit more open schedule than most people. And we get to hang out a lot and have fun. So Marty is awesome. So good to see you here, Marty. Welcome to the mod squad. I don't know how to wrench. Rocky will have to help me. Yeah, I have to do it, Marty. You can't do it. Marty's famous. Marty was also on that stream. For those of you who are interested in taking a walk through San Francisco, Marty and I had an afternoon, and we did a whirlwind tour of North Beach and some of Chinatown, and we got some pizza, and we live streamed it, and Marty was there. We were sketching. It was fun. Go back and watch that. I don't know, what was it called? What was it? Was it our sketch about? I don't know what we called it, Marty. Marty's been with me to the zoo before. Marty's fun. Just a fun dude. You just don't ban someone without permission first. Yes, Marty, don't break anything, okay? I honestly hate how he draws a lot of his characters. I think he's a great artist, though, just off enough that I hate it. I wish he learned more into the realism or comic-y side. Really, Cranberry Landers? Not a fan of the Daredevil yellow costume. Never works as well as the red. I mean, similarly to my thoughts on the metal armor on Daredevil, having a bright yellow pieces of your costume when you're trying to be sly in the shadows is probably not a smart thing to do. So yes, I agree with you, Alan Lau. That goes back to my thoughts that Daredevil's all red, dark red costume is my favorite of all time. But maybe that's just the nostalgia in me when I was exposed to Daredevil. I hated the Joss Whedon run, especially what he did with White Queen and Cyclops. All right, Cranberry, you're just hater-ating it today. Rocky, you're the first Asian I've known to express objection to the use of Oriental. Really? The first one. Usually it's Asians that do, in general. It's not an objection. It's just the is that really a term? I don't like to be called, honestly, I don't really remember. But being referred to as Oriental doesn't quite sit right to me. But then again, when people say I'm Asian, I'm like, I am? Oh yeah, I am. So I didn't really, even though I grew up a lot in the South, I didn't really feel like I saw color. That sounds totally hokey, but it doesn't. I wasn't like, oh, I'm the only Asian, even though I was the only Asian kid a lot of the times in certain situations. I didn't really feel that as a kid, which I think is a good thing. I didn't really grow up saying oh, you Asian people see. I didn't feel like, maybe I was oblivious to it, but I didn't feel discriminated against, I should say. Now, as an adult, I have felt that in different areas in the South, but for the most part, as a kid, fortunately or unfortunately, I didn't really grow up with a chip on my shoulder of oh, I'm being discriminated against because I'm Asian. I think that's also due to the fact that I'm Asian American as opposed to growing up in Asia and then immigrating over here. I've had a few of these conversations with my wife because she grew up in Asia and then immigrated here. So there's a different perspective. You think it's similar, but it's not. It's very not. So I kind of saw myself as just American and then oh yeah, I am Asian. So it's that. And then also, this is the last I'll say on the subject, I find Filipino Americans are a totally different breed, which I am a Filipino American, totally different breed than Chinese Americans or whatever, Indian Americans or, wow, is it raining? Holy cow, it's raining. Yeah, maybe that'll help with the allergies. Hooray. But yeah, they're a totally different breed where Filipino culture wasn't a big part. There's certain things of Filipino culture, but I don't feel really attached to Filipino culture, if that makes sense. It's just it was just kind of a mixture of pieces that were part of my family. I'm just a big mutt. I'm a mutt. I'm a cultural mutt is really how it is, which is American. So anyway, that has nothing to do with any comics. Hated those story choices. Cranberry Landers bringing us back on track with the hate. The worst. Jeez. Welcome to the Mod Squad, Marty. Trapped in the house raining, but found you all online. Yes, Rocky has some great ideas coming. All right, Marty. Thanks, bro. My fingers are blushing. Rain is a good time to stay indoors. That's right. Rocky, speak for yourself. You don't break anything. That was a good stream. You were supposed to do a shorter stream, but you guys extended it. We did. It was too fun. Probably long in the tooth, like many of my streams are, but it was too fun. I fully concede that the metal outfit makes more sense. No sense, you mean, Cranberry. What's up, Shanthan Jetty? Art. Man of the hour. Shanth, I don't know if you saw it, but I posted your trailer is now going to be part of my beginning of my streams for as long as your campaign is going, because we got to promote the heck out of your book. Off to a great start with Spring Ball. Shanth, talk to the chat. They can vouch for me. But I had this amazing idea for an add-on for your campaign. You need to make a ball, put the Spring Ball logo on it, and sell the Spring Ball. Money. It's money, dude. I'm just saying. Shanthan Jetty. Well, you have Asian blood, but you're American. That's true. We have the same thing in my hometown. I miss that America is getting closer to how it was when I was a kid. Did someone say I'm Indian American? Ooh. What is this? If you're American, you're American. Act like an American. Consider yourself an American. You're an American, fully and completely. It's a mess, you know. America is like just a huge, it's no joke, melting pot. And so many cultures crashing in here and trying to mix together. Some trying to hijack others. Some trying to, dominate over others. But I don't know. It's like I must have been just more naive as a kid. I just, just experienced what I experienced, and somehow that led me to comics and doing this now. And how many places can you do this, and be in the country that invented this crazy world of YouTube, and exposed me to all these comics, and it's amazing. It's really amazing. Okay, so that was all the unboxings. This is a nice little segue to the first book that I picked up this week. Excuse me. Batman The Long Halloween, Last Halloween. These come out, I don't think they come out monthly. They might. I feel like they just kind of come out randomly. But this is, we're on the Tim Sale kick that we were just talking about with that Daredevil Yellow. This is based off of Tim Sale and Jeff Loeb's work, Batman The Long Halloween. This series is a 10-issue series, and each issue is drawn by a different person. This one is drawn by an artist by the name of Enrico Marini. And I've been really loving this series because it exposes you to different artists and their take on The Long Halloween. 2, it's a continuation of The Long Halloween story, which was really cool. Even though, like I said earlier, Jeff Loeb isn't one of my favorite writers, but I did enjoy The Long Halloween, thought it was interesting characters and story. And 3, it's just a tribute to Tim Sale and the work he did in establishing the world of The Long Halloween, both stylistically, storytelling-wise, and I feel like all the artists so far, all 6 of them so far, have done a great job of paying homage to Tim Sale, but also embracing why they were chosen as artists on this. So I don't know Enrico Marini's work, actually, to be honest. Gives me Eduardo Rizzo feels stylistic vibes, though. But cool stuff. Great stuff. I'm always big on these kind of anthology books where they have different artists doing different parts to it. They can be hit or miss, but I enjoy them just because it just seeing artists do their take on one story or one aspect of a story is awesome. So it's like seeing this guy do his take on Batman is cool. colorist on this. Dave Stewart, always doing colors. Dave Stewart's another great artist, along with Matt Hollingsworth, Dave Stewart, and Laura Martin. Great. 3 great colorists we're talking about this week. This is a very much a... Even though this Batman does not feel like a Tim Sale Batman, this does feel like a Tim Sale Catwoman. Yeah, his Batman is surprisingly... Sorry, my glare is quite bright. His Batman is surprisingly subtle. Not so dominant on the page. I love his Two-Face. That Two-Face is cool. Oh, I guess this is like a Two-Face thug. But this Two-Face is awesome. That's great. Two-Face is a funny character. I mean, he's a great, great character. But how people interpret him is always interesting. It's like, is his face... Yeah, this like red mushy mess. Is it more skeletal? Is it, I've seen it, like Batman the Animated Series, they treated it totally different where you had that like green skin and like really divided exactly halfway in his face. Brilliant character though. Wow, this is cool. This is a cool artistic choice. Check this out. Gunshot, all red, blam. Hand-drawn lettering on the blam. Then they go full, just plain black and white on the bullet hit, which breaks Mr. Freeze's head canister. That's awesome. Nice dramatic moment there. Boom. Oh, did it again here. Blam. Oh, snap. Did Robin just get shot? Whew. That's cool. Love it. I love that artistic choice. That's great. It's a great setup of I think that's the only time I saw it. Right? It's great. Great setup. Drama. Repeat. Drama, but this time it's a person. And you go to that. That's great. Poison Ivy. I wonder, he must be an Italian artist. Enrico Marini. Sounds Italian. Always love these little interviews and kind of behind the scenes stuff that they include at the back, the process stuff. Yeah, if you guys are, funny. If you guys are, I recommend the series, the whole series. It's been great all the way through. I'm sure they're going to compile it into a graphic novel at some point, but it's been a great series. Each issue is interesting. It's a treat. It's stylistically really cool, and then it's just a great tribute to Tim Sale. So I'm glad they did this, and I'm glad I'm picking it up. Batman Long Halloween. Last Halloween, number 6. Cranberry says, I personally think Oriental is a cooler name than Asian. I think, from my perspective. I mean, I guess. I can't help but think every time I hear the word Oriental, I hear the ding-ding-ding-ding-ding. Like it just, I don't know. Something about it. Hey, what's up, Art Times J. Ryan?
It's actually a really good start.
How are you doing, Jay? How you been? I'm going to assume, Shanthan Jetty, that you were talking about the Spring Ball trademark. I just want 2%, those royalties, please. Shant, you know you're the true troublemaker. That's right. Don't forget to get the Coach Mail-In $250 tier going. Put the Spring Ball in a paddle. That's right. That's right. That would be amazing. I always hated that toy growing up. I think you need to modernize it, though, maybe, Shant, and do a pickleball set. spring ball, pickleball set. Marty Lum would be behind that. Paddleball, spring ball is a great idea. It is. Enrico Marini is so good. He really is. Yeah, I'll have to dive deeper. If you know of other work that he's done, Art Times J. Ryan, let me know in the chat. But there you go. Marini is one of your favorites. All right, cool. I'd love to know what else he's worked on. I'm not so familiar with his work. He might have done... His name sounds familiar, so I'm guessing he might have done a Batman Black and White back in the day. But yeah, he's great. Good stuff. America will take what's best for whatever cultures. We will absorb their individual uniqueness like a benign Borg. Okay, when you put it that way, nerd. Gladly took the YouTube shadow blocking going on mailing channels to support you. Oh my gosh. All right, let's see. K-pop junkie, what's up? The gang's coming in here. I can hear my voice going out. I'm going to eat a cough drop, guys. Marini is good. K-pop knows Enrico Marini's work. That's great. Yeah, this is... yeah, I've not been exposed so much to his work, but it looks amazing. It, again, gives me this Rizzo vibes to it, and I love Rizzo, so I'll have to look at for more of his work. What did I just eat? I thought it was a cough drop. Oh, weird. That's how we'll win. We're going to have a more dominant culture, but we'll take the strengths, absorb them, then use it for our own strength to fight the world. It's awesome. Oh, gosh. Marini did a ton of work from Raptor, Rapaces, to Batman, the Dark Prince Charming. Incredible career. Let me put that in my notes. I need to search this guy. Enrico Marini. Oops. All of those, I'm not familiar. I don't think I'm familiar with any of those. Batman, Dark Prince Charming. I don't think I've seen that. He's obviously done other Batman work, it seems like. An amalgam with the best people. Two-Face is, I think, my favorite Batman. He's one of my favorites, too. I think he's a brilliant character design, brilliant storyline, and yeah, he's such a tragic character, and his relationship to Bruce Wayne, that's been played up in different ways, both in the movies and the TV show and the comics, and all of them have been great. Always makes him super interesting. And just graphically, he's just a cool design. So, yeah, I like Two-Face a lot. Croc is also one of my favorites. He's not one. I like Two-Face way more than I like Killer Croc. Rocky says head canister, also known as a helmet. Did you play Shant's sound effects? I did. Got to get back to work. I'll play it again because Shant's my brother. Cranberry says, see ya, Shant. Keep doing amazing work. Of course. Shant's always working. Never stopping. You are a nerd. What did I just eat? I don't know. I gone back to what I was doing, so I heard that. There is no context. What, me a nerd? Like, you've got a place to talk, Rocky. We're all flaming nerds. It's fun. It's fun, right? Gone are the days when nerds were not cool. I mean, we're still not cool, but at least there's more of us now. More of us out in the open. All right, so this is the last issue. I actually stopped picking up this book. I told the comic book store to take this off the list. I'm like, I'm done with this. But lo and behold, this is the last issue. So they took it off my list, my box, and I ended up buying it. I could not, the completist in me could not get the last issue. It was okay. Capullo's great. You know, he's a great artist, solid. The story was all right. There's a little bit of controversy between issue, I believe, 3 and 4 with the colorist bailed. So that changed. But I was like, I gotta finish it up. Who's the new colorist? I don't know. I'm gonna have to blow my nose here in a second. I can feel it. I can feel it. Alex Sinclair. Yes, I think the old colorist was Placencio. I think there was a falling out happening there. But yeah, it's been... I don't feel like the story really went anywhere. It was just an excuse for Wolverine to violently stab, in this red band version of the comic, yes, I bought into the gimmick, to violently stab his enemies. I mean, look at look at Sabretooth. He has lost an arm here. I don't think he has his legs, and Colossus just hurled him at him, fastball special, and now he's just getting slaughtered by Wolverine. That's gross. Just cut him in half. Red band. Hello. But that's kind of what you would expect from a book called Wolverine Revenge with a red band issue. Or red band version. Yeah. Yeah. It's just a lot of fighting, violent fighting. That's the whole shtick. Nothing too deep. And I'm not that big on this Colossus, this version. We've talked about this before. I'm not that big on this, whatever, this version of Colossus where he's not, wow. I think this was Magic Sword. Yep. And he's fighting Wolverine with it and then just kind of stabs him in the face. That's pretty violent. And Wolverine comes back, as of course he would, and starts fighting the demons of hell. Is that how we end this? Oh, there's Sim. Do you guys remember Sim from the 90s, 80s and 90s? He was Magic, Ilyana Rasputin's main demon friend who ended up trying to usurp her rule in her universe. I guess Wolverine's gonna fight him next, and that's it. I think that's the end. It's all right. Fun little romp. I think that's the end. I'm not gonna pick up any more if this is not the end. Yeah, it's okay. If you want to watch Wolverine be violent with all of his enemies that he's fought in the past, this is the book for you. Not that much to the story. Greg Capullo's art's great. I mean, it is Greg Capullo, you like it or no, and it's solid. But yeah, it's all right. It's all right. It is what it is. Nothing to call home with. But I had to complete my set just because that's how I go. Rocky is stuffing Werther's original in his gob to use as cough drops. I don't know what it is that I just put in my mouth. It's kind of minty. Kind of tastes like Vicks. I like Mr. Freeze too. Yeah, Mr. Freeze is great. Batman has arguably one of the best rogue galleries in comics. I'm just trying to think, like Superman, X-Men, Spider-Man's got a great rogues gallery too. But Batman for sure, I think, would, in my opinion, ekes out his like cast of villains, ekes out others. When Sean said Springball doesn't sleep nor eat, I realized it was it's autobiographical, John. It's a cool cover. Little heads up, Rocky. Shoving anything in your pie hole is probably how I cracked a tooth. Goodness. Artists having fallouts? I don't believe it. Never happened. Yep. Just emotional people. Don't chew on ice. I think my grandma cracked a tooth that way. Yeah, let's not do that. I don't remember Sim. I didn't like Magic. You don't like anything I'm putting in front of you right now, Cranberry. I don't think you will. Well, we'll see. We got the two biggest controversial... Oh, no. 3 more things. But 2 of the biggest controversial ones coming up here in a second. So we'll see. Sim was spelled S-Y-M. he was great. It was a great character. Both of them were great. Is because he was like her servant and he was reluctant about it. And Magic, every time she left the underworld, what do they call that place? I can't remember what they called her hell that she lived in, her dimension. Every time she came back into Earth, she was like the innocent sister of Colossus. This was the story I loved about her. And every time she stepped into that world, she became like the demon princess and ruled it. But when she went back to Earth and spent time, he was in control there. And so while she was gone, he would like slowly try and gain more power. Then she'd come back and he'd have to like bow down to her. So it was this cool interplay of like this power interplay. And the longer she stayed in the underworld, the more demonic she became. And so she'd always try and leave and kind of regain her humanity. It was an amazing story that Chris Claremont set up with her. So I just love that. So they had this weird relationship. Like she depended on him to keep things in order while she was gone, but secretly he was trying to take over her place. And then it kind of came to a head, like in Inferno is where it came in a head, which was a great crossover event in Uncanny X-Men, X-Factor, and New Mutants. So if you haven't read that story, read it. That's where you can learn more about Sim and Ileana, and you'll really get into her character through that. We love any excuse to violently stab our enemies. I guess so. It's kind of I kind of knew what you were getting when you got this book. I think I was just hoping for some more meat. No pun intended. A little bit more story meat in it. And Jonathan Hickman's a great great writer, so I'm a little disappointed with the writing. Why is he attacking Colossus? Colossus turned bad at one point. Is working against him in this reality? I'm not sure. I hear it is the year of violence. Yep. Batman has one of the best, if not the best, rogues galleries. I actually debate that internally whether Spider-Man's rogues gallery or Batman wins out. I think Batman's wins out, but Spider-Man's is a close second because he's got some awesome villains there too. But I mean, if you're leading the pack in Batman with Joker, Penguin, Catwoman, Poison Ivy, Two-Face, Mr. Freeze, yeah, there's some really, really good ones in there. They're all strong. I like the art in that last one, so I don't hate everything. Hades. It wasn't called Hades. It might have been called Hell with one L. I don't remember. John likes the cleaner lines than the jaggy ones. That's a new term. Who is this character and what is this story? Jaggy? Promiscuous time travel, what's up? From the future. I know very little of the X-Men. The only series I've read in perpetuity is Excalibur. Really? Oh my goodness. Promiscuous time traveler. I would dive into Uncanny X-Men. There's some great stories in there. And Excalibur, depending on which Excalibur where you started reading that was an offshoot coming off of the momentum that was Uncanny X-Men. It was built on the backs of Uncanny X-Men. So yeah, I would go to the 80s, late 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s of X-Men, and you're going to find some great stuff. This is not even, well, oh my gosh. I'm okay, guys. Holy cow, that scared me. Sorry, that scared the crap out of me. I stepped on some bubble wrap. These are great places to start. Promiscuous time travel. Second Genesis, let's see, 1975, 1978. Chris Claremont. Look for Chris Claremont with the X-Men. And Dave Cockrum was the artist on this. It was fantastic artist. This is where like the new X-Men came in, like Colossus, Nightcrawler. taking over behind the original X-Men. The original X-Men being Cyclops, Jean Grey, Beast, Angel, and Iceman. And then they introduced these new X-Men: Storm, Nightcrawler, Banshee, Wolverine, Colossus, Kitty Pryde eventually. But yeah, this is where it starts getting really good in my opinion. And then it moves into, this is still Chris Claremont with John Romita Jr. These are awesome storylines. My favorite storyline of all time for X-Men, I've talked about it numerous times on stream, is called Follow the Mutants. That's a great crossover miniseries to read if you want to get into X-Men. Yeah, so much good stuff in X-Men. Modern day X-Men, not so much. At least in my opinion, I have not been so excited about, other than that Astonishing X-Men by Joss Whedon. So yeah, Chris Claremont is the king for X-Men stuff if you want to get into it. Blonde chick with a big sword. Yeah, that's magic. Colossus started to rust. What would you call the jaggy lines? I don't even know what you're talking about, John. The like sketchy lines, maybe? Sketchy? You goof. Yeah, I I stepped on some bubble wrap. It was scared me. Was there a sudden fade to black? Rocky's putting random edibles in his mouth, stepping on random things. I was kind of hoping that when I worked at the comic shop, I would have been able to create a document of jumping on points for different characters and series. That's a great idea. I'm sure if you YouTube it, you'll get probably a million different opinions, but it really depends on the kind of stories. That's what I love about this. And this is what I love about discussing comics is you meet people that say, hey, you should start reading at, whatever, issue 195. Like, that's a great issue to start. And you don't really get that without talking to other people that love it. And it might be exciting for you. It might be not. You might read those things that I just told you and they might not be that great, or you might not be that interested in it. But that's what I love about sharing comics with everybody. It's like this, the thing that makes it so fun and so exciting is when you're like, oh my gosh, did you see the whatever, fill in the blank? And then just being so excited to tell other people about it. That kind of conversation is what I love so much about comics. Less so about like, oh, I got to collect the blah, 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 blah. Or like, have you seen the value of the blah, blah, blah? Like, I like that kind of stuff, but just the like excitement of attaching to a great character or a very good story, like that is timeless. That goes beyond comics. That's what makes storytelling so enjoyable for me, is the sharing of it. If we didn't share the stories, there's no point in telling them. So it's really, really a fun part of it to me. And I think what you said, like, creating some sort of document, that would be awesome. And some people might agree with it and some people don't, but it's a really great idea. Thank you very much for the recommendation. You are welcome. I don't know if that gave you a clear recommendation on that, but to summarize, Uncanny X-Men is, if you liked Excalibur, I think you would really like Uncanny X-Men. And I highly recommend Chris Claremont's run on that, because he had such a holistic, character-centric storytelling style, and a lot of people who read X-Men will agree that Chris Claremont was one of the best writers on X-Men, and he just created so many amazing characters, and not only were they interesting, but they were relatable, and they also changed over time. And that is an incredible thing to do as a writer, when it's not just about the cool gimmick or the cool superpower. It was like, who is this character? What makes them tick? And how do they respond to other characters, story points, worldview, all that kind of stuff? And how do they evolve? Chris Claremont was king at that stuff. Rocky is a worse druggie than we believe. Kinda. Magic has a mutant ability which makes her generically more capable of wielding, being more powerful with spiritual abilities. So the awesome thing about that character Magic, I don't know how she is now, but what I grew up reading about her was you just thought she was Colossus's sister, his youngest sister or younger sister. And you're like, oh, cool. And she could teleport. Like that was her power. And you're like, oh, neat. But as the story developed, you realize the way she teleported was she would step into another dimension, this hell, underworld, whatever it was called. And she was a demon queen in that dimension. And she was this like innocent little young girl on Earth, but this demon queen in this world. And she had all these demons at her control. And so she had this duality of personalities. And she would step into the demon world and then step out into another location. And that was her teleporting. Amazing. And she struggled with being this demon queen versus being the innocent sister in the real world. So it was awesome. And then she kind of grew up too before our eyes as we were reading. So she was no longer just the young little girl. She became more of this adolescent, young adult making these good and bad choices. Sketchy lines, feels unfinished. Yes. John likes the clean artwork. Well, Rocky is afraid of bubble wrap. I guess so. Worms, tulips, and bubble wrap. Oh my gosh, you guys are making a list. Yes, so many weaknesses. That's right. Rocky likes to share the comic excitement wealth. I do. I really do. That's a big reason why I started doing this. Not only the art of it, but just my excitement of it. I had to share it with some people, and fortunately or unfortunately, you guys are those people. John's Martian Manhunter. Here we go. And Mutant. Yes, Mutant. Yes, you guys all remember. Tell me all you can about this magic girl. She's awesome. Great character. Oh, the other awesome thing, something that Chris Claremont wrote, and the artist at the time who did it well was this artist by the name of Brett Blevins. The longer she stayed in the demon realm, the underworld, hell, whatever, she had this armor, and it would slowly, it would grow more and more. So it started off as just like her arm, and then it slowly kind of became more part of her chest, and then her legs, and then in Inferno is like a full body armor suit. But the longer she was in that demon world, the more it would take control of her body. It was so cool. And then she had this sword. They've made this sword now this like giant Japanese inspired weapon, but before it was just like a flaming sword. So yeah, it was so cool. She was such a cool character. Her brother is a guy called Colossus who has an organic steel body. He also very durable, has super strength. Sometimes he could change back to human form. He was also really pure of heart too. And now that version in the Wolverine Revenge, he isn't so much. He's kind of darker and had to make like these hard choices. But I loved the way that Claremont wrote him, where he was just like the shining light in all the decisions. He would always kind of make the right decision, the most sacrificial decision. And he was a key component of Follow the Mutants, why his heart was of like him as a character. So to see him like twist from that now in this modern age of like, oh, he's darker or he's the villain now, it's like, that just kind of changes a lot of what I grew up with of who Colossus was. I love comic characters and character histories. Yes. Super fun. Are you incorporating magic into your report for class? Just making note of their comparisons to each other things. All right, cool. Here we go, guys. This has been getting a lot of buzz. And I will say, namely, this was the number one book I was looking to pick up this week because I knew it was coming out. And it's been getting a lot of buzz because of how weird it is. Very weird from the standard Martian Manhunter that we know and love from Justice League. Anytime, I'm convinced, something with one eye is so, if you want to make something feel really alien to us as humans, give it one eye. Like there's no way you can really make a one-eyed thing look normal. I guess that goes without saying. But there is something very disturbing and unnerving about something with one eye, and they just went for it with this Martian Manhunter design. They were releasing a lot of promo images before this came out. The artist is Javier Rodriguez. Great artist. I really like his artwork. I'm trying to think what else I have of Javier Rodriguez. There's another artist by the name of Marcos Martin that reminds me a lot of Javier Rodriguez's art. But he's got a nice, like, clean style to his work. He uses shadows really great, very stylized. But they were releasing a lot of prelim artwork, promo artwork before this series came out, specifically of Martian Manhunter himself. And it was crazy. Like, it just made you go like, what is going on? Who is this character? I read this last night and I need to read it again. It's kind of crazy, the story. It's playing a lot with the reader, and it's like, it feels like a surrealist story, a little bit surrealist noir story. So just to give you, it's really hard to explain if you don't get that, if you don't get that from my stuttering here. So one of the things is, I'll just give you an example. He's talking to this doctor about certain things, and then the doctor is like, "Hey, you can't smoke in here." And it's like, okay, whatever. He's like smoking. But then they put this panel. He's like, then where the hell is all this smoke coming from? And had this weird coloring, which is a theme, this like Martian Manhunter weird coloring. And then in the next few scenes, you start seeing like everybody in every panel is smoking. It reminds me a lot of the feeling or the tone I get from reading this book reminds me of a lot. Did you guys ever see that TV series Legion, which is based on a character from the X-Men? He's a character from the X-Men. And they did a TV series on this character, and they kind of went total left field with it. It was like a mind psycho, like surrealist story. This gives me those vibes. So they do a lot of these weird artistic kind of things to play with what they're trying to tell the story, and it's kind of cryptic right now, at least. But look at how the coloring changes here. Becomes very monochromatic, or I'm sorry, not monochromatic, very primary. Cool, looks cool, but it's like it's totally like messing with your mind the whole time, and like jumping around from abstract weird symbolism to reality. Here's another moment that's kind of like messes with you. So that Martian Manhunter, his design is this like Cyclops crazy kind of thing. And he looks at this pile of rubble here and he's talking about patterns, but you can see the hint at like Martian Manhunter's design right here with the Cyclops eye and the hands. It's really bizarre. And then they do this crazy thing, like he's in the kitchen, his wife or partner is like cooking, and then all of a sudden all these weird colorly blobs start happening. So I think like I think he's having a mental breakdown. I believe he might be Martian Manhunter. They don't tell you. He might be Martian Manhunter, and he's kind of having this psychological breakdown that was triggered by that explosion that happened at the beginning of the story. This is what that character looks like. So you don't even know like what is reality? Is he looking at reality? Is he perceiving reality, or is this all in his head? So they play around with that both in the storytelling and also in the artwork. Crazy. This is why I say I have to read it again. But I like it because it's so different. I just want to know where it's going. So that'll be like issue 2. But issue 1 definitely gives you the vibe of what you're getting. There's no bones about it. It's going to be so weird. It's going to be different. It's not what you expect, which is this whole absolute line. It's kind of trippy, very trippy. It almost reminds me a little bit of Trad Moore. He was an artist I talked about in one of the previous streams where he did a Doctor Strange story. And he went crazy, surrealist, trippy. Kind of gives me that feeling too. And it's going back to this explosion. Something about this explosion was the catalyst. So here's the crazy thing. I don't even know how I can show this on stream. Sorry if I'm spoiling this for anybody. But they end it with this. Message to my fellow Martians. To activate your Martian vision, please take page 25 of the comic book in your hands and hold it up to the light. Use a lamp, a reading light, or the sun itself. It's up to you. And when you do that, I don't even think I can do that. Okay, can you kind of, can you see that? It is basically showing Martian Manhunters, the new Martian Manhunters form behind it. And it says here, we're the Martian mind something here. And then this crazy image. Sorry, this is weird. This crazy image. So like they're trying so much weird stuff with this. It's so interesting and different. This is what shows up when you look at this, the reverse. It's super bizarre, right? I'm not surprised. This is exactly what I was thinking it would be. I didn't realize it'd be so abstract like this, but this is exactly what I was thinking it would be. I'm going to stick with this series because I want to know where it's going. If they lose me after like issue 2 or 3, like it just stays bizarre and no linear story can be, or an emotional story can be latched onto, I might not keep picking it up. But the artwork is great for what it is. And it's enough like mystery that makes me go, what is going on? So yeah. It's a doozy, and I've seen a lot of people say like this is their favorite book of 2025 already. I won't go that strong on my review of this necessarily. It like I've read enough books this year that have made me go, oh, that's so good. This just made me go, whoa. Okay, all right, I'm in for the ride. I'm in. You didn't lose me yet, but we'll see how long or how much it keeps me in. And for the average reader, I have seen some reviews, people going like, this is the worst book ever. So, you know, it's gonna garner reaction. I don't think that's a bad thing, one way or the other, a positive or negative, extreme positive or negative reaction. It's definitely selling books. It's the same thing when Absolute Batman came out, had a huge negative reaction and huge positive reaction, and it's kept me hooked in. So, yeah, we'll see. It's totally different. I give them kudos for trying something this crazy on a Martian Manhunter book, and I'm very, very curious to see where they take it. All right, let's see. Wow. Great first page. Yes. Totally like pulls you in, right? Like what is happening? I like the outside edges, the guy, the white areas, but I don't like the chest and bottom of the face of the Martian Manhunter. Like this stuff. Yeah. It's weird. It's really weird. This is a great drawing though. Or more than two eyes. Yeah, eyes. Yes. Eyes are for sure the windows of the soul. You've heard people say that before. They're how we relate to people. And anytime you alter that or change that, even the number of eyes, but like the width of the eyes or like spacing in the eyes, it immediately like feels weird, right? Or like feels off. So yes. Don't forget, yes, absolutely. I mean, this doesn't give me an insect feel to it, but it's just like, oh, like, I like oh yeah, you said that. Great first page. Everyone is smoking. Is it France? Excuse me. I didn't watch Legion. Legion is Professor Xavier's son who struggled with, yes, he is. He was a great character. That show was totally different than the comics. Very different from the comics. It started off strong. I loved it when it first came out, but it was really, I tend to like weird stuff too, like really bizarre storytelling things. But at the end of the day, if it doesn't connect you, if you don't hook in emotionally and it doesn't meet you at your level emotionally in some way, then bizarre and weird will only take you so far, in my opinion. Martian Manhunter is telepathic, can control his density, shape, size, super strength, super speed, flight, and vulnerability. Yes. Except to heat. Yes. He can also control people's minds, I believe. I think so. Yes. I think he has some sort of mind something power in there. Admiral Wackus, what's up? That is cool. Nice. Likes it. Didn't think I need Shadow and Batman together till I saw that ad. Shadow and Batman together. Did I miss that? Shadow and Batman. Oh, this? No. This is going to be cool. I just mentioned Marcos Martin is very similar to Javier Rodriguez, in my opinion. Yeah, he's doing a 2-part story in Absolute Batman, which could be awesome. I love Marcos Martin. It's great. Great artist. It's a Mr. Freeze story, too. Shadow and Batman. Did I miss something? I missed it. This? No. I do like that they're trying new things, art styles with the lap. Yes, I do too. I agree. And I give them all the props for it. It's not like like if they kept Martian Manhunter normal, like whatever, normal Martian Manhunter, him as a character, I'm like, oh, I got to see Martian. Like I'm not that into Martian Manhunter. But this, they just took it so far out and reinvented him. Makes me go, oh, okay, maybe this could be a cool version of him. So yeah, I give them a lot of props for just doing it, going for it, and trying. I think the best Martian Manhunter that I liked a lot was in Darwin Cook's New Frontier. I loved his take on Martian Manhunter. Batman was based off the Shadow. Yes. I think maybe a couple other characters too. Yes. This book is giving me some Dan vibes. I don't know anything about Dan. I know it's super popular right now, so maybe I should check it out. And maybe it's not as weird as I'm thinking it is. Maybe that's normal for the generation. I didn't see the page you were looking at. I thought it was the Shadow Batman collaboration. Oh, no. Batteries running out. Is that right, Marty? Hang in there, dude. You can do it. I didn't even know you're still here. Rocky, be kind. Maybe the artist was on cough medicine these days. Maybe. I don't think so. It's more than cough medicine. Really strong cough medicine if he was just on cough medicine. Great joining you all. See you later, Marty. Take care. Legion was pretty great, but it fizzled out. Lost the plot at the end. I really loved the show overall, though. Yeah, the production value on that was awesome. The direction was awesome. But I agree with you. I fell out of it a little bit with the story because it just got too bizarre. I also didn't read Legion comics. Yeah, he appeared a lot in that run that I love, like around Fall of the Mutants. After Fall of the Mutants, actually more Inferno kind of. He was he had this like crazy hair, like tall hair. He was messed up. He had different personalities and they would come out at different times. So sometimes he'd be empathetic. Sometimes he'd be really evil. It was awesome. He was a good character. Inception was good. Weird movie. That is an exact, a great example of a story who is so different and so bizarre. And the storytelling was so unconventional. Could easily confuse people, but they kept you hooked in, at least for me, they kept you hooked into that emotional thread. Like you were so tied into Leonardo DiCaprio and his wife Mal, and like what that was all about. And even though it was like jumping in time and like Inception and all that like crazy bizarre warping, like you were so bought into that emotional tragedy that it just kept you through, and you just followed the story all the way through. I mean, Christopher Nolan's masterful with bizarre storytelling. So yeah, that's a perfect example of it done well. Love that movie. My favorite Martian Manhunter writing portrayal was in the 90s JLL series. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't really into Justice League. I loved him in the cartoon. He was great. He was a great character in the cartoon. But check out, if you haven't read New Frontier, he was super interesting in that one. Actually, not going to lie, depending on your weird threshold, Dan to Dan might be a bit much for you. Maybe. You'll see. You'd be surprised. I can go pretty weird. Is it Skibbity level? Maybe not that weird. That would be too much for me. You might want to check out the Winter Soldier and Spider-Man Marvel Max titles are very psychedelic, and I recommend you check them out, Rocky. I have read Winter Soldier. Loved Inception. Yeah, that's my favorite Christopher Nolan movie right there. All right, cool. All right, we good with Martian Manhunter? I would say if you guys are into the bizarre, if you want to see something different than just your standard fare, that's a book to try out. It's cool, and it's executed really well too. All right, I'll do a really quick flip through this. I found this in Frank's shop, Amazing Fantasy. It happened to be in his sale rack, and I picked up this individual issue. It was just a one-shot issue, Doom. I picked it up, regular comic book size. It was like this. I would pull it out, but I think it's in a different box now. Like this size. But they released this version, and I was like, do I really want it? But it was in Frank's half-off bin. So because it was half off, because it has this little damage here, no big deal. I was like, gotta grab it. Why? Well, it's printed in a larger format, which will tie into something I'm going to show you after this. Printed in a larger format, which is cool. Always cool. Hard to store, but always cool. This was the original book here. And it was just like Sanford Green, who's the artist, like drawing every single character in the Marvel Universe fighting Doom, pretty much. So that's fine. Do I need to see this book this big? Not necessarily. Was I that engaged with the one shot to own it this big? Not necessarily. But what I did love about this binding version is this stuff. This behind the scenes stuff is always fun for me. Great to see these like rough sketches. Really cool. Him just kind of figuring out Galactus, all the different characters. Love it. Love process stuff like this. So that was cool. Nice. And, man, that's a lot of Marvel characters. And, boom, include layouts. Very cool. Love it. Rough layouts for the book. Again, I, as an artist, love to see this process stuff. But here's the kicker. Then they printed out a black and white version of the whole book without the lettering. Now that goes straight into my veins. Love this. Love this. Sanford Green's a great artist. He's not a favorite artist of mine, but he's good. He's got a lot of energy in his artwork. His art has kind of an urban, I've seen it skew in some, depending on what he's drawing, like an urban hip hop feel to it. Not so much in this artwork. And that's cool. It's a great kind of take. I love how kinetic it is, and he just like attacks the page. Really cool to see it in black and white. This is just awesome. Anytime I see traditional black and white stuff for comics, I'm there. Like, it's hard to keep me away from it. And especially when you can see like process, right? So like the whiteout hits here, the corrections, the smears. Yeah, I love all that stuff. The like edge of the page, the dirty marks. Yeah, just really exciting for me. Is this stuff too jeggy for you, John? Is this not clean enough for you? That's cool. He's got a lot of energy in his work. Looks like he uses a brush to ink. I'm 90% sure that this is all traditional. I could be wrong. If this was digital, I'd be surprised. But I feel like this is traditional stuff. Like this stuff feels traditional. Splatters and... So it's cool. That is the main reason I picked up this book. At half off, can't beat it. It's got some like variant cover stuff here. Some sort of backstory that I don't really care about here. Another Sanford Green story here. I guess it's a Runaways story. I've never read Runaways. But yeah, like the color stuff is good, but there's just something about his artwork in black and white, which is nice. So that's the big reason I picked up this Doom. And again, this is a regular comic book size. So it's cool that it's like, it's not full like Treasury edition size, but it is bigger than normal. So you can appreciate the artwork closer up than normal. It is a little jeggy. Okay. Inception was pretty dope. Admiral Wacko says, I do think it was overhyped and not as overly complicated as peeps say. The Prestige is my favorite Nolan. Nice. I did like The Prestige. I love most of his movies. Did you ever see The Following? That was great. That was one of his first movies. Memento is almost as good as Inception for me, just because it's so raw, and the filmmaking in that, the like breaking the norm out of that one is incredible. Tenet was great. That one I almost didn't hook into the like emotional thread when I like it. Interstellar I really liked. That one was bizarre, but it had that emotional hook as well. Obviously, Dark Knight was amazing. What was that last one that he just did? The atom bomb one. Oh my gosh, why did I just blank on that? Like came out at the same time as the Barbie movie. You guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah, Christopher Nolan's amazing. I love that guy. I love his work. I think people really just get really frustrated about ambiguous endings. Yes, I love the ending in Inception. I love that ending. Did Sean come through and we all neglected to ask about Pizza Live? We're slipping. Rocky Crack. Yes. I think it was obvious that, yeah, seeing black and white process ink art, traditional art for comics is like crack for me. I think it was obvious that Leonardo DiCaprio was still dreaming. You never see the kids' faces. Everybody's too happy. The time's jumped around. The top never falls. Or does it? We don't know. Does it? Great pages. Little jeggy. It's a nice jeggy, though. Very expressive. I love that style. I like it rougher. Admiral Wackass is all about the jeggy, John. Runaways has some good stories. Can't take the boy out of CG. I want to see Memento. I never did. Definitely see that. Cranberry Langers. Oh my gosh. That one's incredible. And actually I got it was like a special edition DVD at the time. It was before Blu-ray. And the way they packaged it even like messed with your mind. Oh, it was awesome. It was the like screen menus from the DVD. You guys remember those? When those were in art form? The different menus even messed with your mind. They were like, when you pressed up on the DVD control, it would go down. It would do everything reverse from what you did. It was amazing. I still need to see The Following. My film backlog is over 1,000 movies long. Probably, yeah. It sounds like my comic backlog. All right. Last book here. Here we go. I feel like I need to blow my nose. Hang on a second. I'm going to blow my nose. Okay. Sorry about that. Last book here. It doesn't show it fall. I think the evidence for being... Yeah, the credits cut in. But how do you know it didn't fall? How do you know it didn't fall? No, I did. Okay. Last book. So I was not going to pick this up. I flipped through this book and I was like, yeah, it looks cool. But I was like, is it worth buying? I probably won't get into the story. I wasn't really into the first story that came out. What I'm talking about is Batman Hush. So Hush 2, the first issue of the Hush 2 line came out. Issue 158 of Batman, the normal series Batman. It's not like they made like a separate Hush book. It's like part of the regular Batman storyline. So issue 158 came out. I wasn't that real a big fan of the original Hush story. I probably should give it another try, but it just didn't connect with me. Jim Lee's great artwork, but I'm like, do I really, it's lost. His artwork has lost its luster for me a little bit, if I was to be honest. Is it because he's getting older? Because I'm getting older? I don't know, maybe. So I flipped through it and I was like, maybe I'll just pass. Maybe I'll just read the graphic novel. And then I saw somebody posted on YouTube a review of the book. And the thing they focused on was, surprise, DC was releasing a giant size special edition, which is huge. Regular comic book size. This big. And the giant size special edition is pretty much the size of like those artist editions that I get for the first issue in this like big magazine form. And I'm like, what? And the guy flipped through it on his YouTube channel. His name is, let me just double check. I love his channel a lot, actually. It's called Michael Fitzgerald Troy is the guy. Go subscribe to his channel. He does flip through reviews. Sometimes he'll do interviews, but he does flip through reviews. He goes really fast, but they're really, I don't know, I enjoy him a lot. And a lot of the things that he likes about comics, I like the same things. I feel like we grew up reading the same era of stuff. So he flipped through it and he was talking about it being this giant size and he was just raving about it. And I was like, oh, dang. Like, this was literally, I left one comic book store, watched his YouTube video and was like, oh man. And I didn't see it on the rack. So I called up Frank. This is the great thing about knowing comic book store owners. I called up Frank and I was like, Frank, hey, do you happen to have any copies of the Batman Hush 2 giant size edition? And he was like, yep. And I was like, can you hold one for me on the rack? And so he did. And so I ran to his store and I bought it. And this is ginormous. Again, here's one issue of a comic book. This is how big it is. It's huge. It doesn't even fit on my, I guess I could back out a little bit more. A little bit more so you guys can see part of my desk, but also more of this book. So, I mean, come on. Like, it's kind of cool to see artwork this big. If it was in black and white, I heard a rumor that they might release a black and white version at this size. That would make me crazy. But there's something cool about seeing it this large. I don't know if it's like, because it feels like you're reading a newspaper. It just gives it, it's like the difference between watching a movie on your iPhone or your mobile phone and watching a movie in the theater. Like there's just a different like, whoa, like a drama to it or a feeling to it. Seeing comics at this size. And we've been so conditioned to read books this big. You know, our boxes are all meant to fit this kind of shape. We arrange our shelves to fit this shape. But there's something cool about this size. There was I'll pull that out. There was back in the early 2000s, they actually released, oh, how funny. I didn't even make this connection. They released a like newspaper comic. They're just trying out that format called Wednesday Comics. This is just cued into me right now. And then they compile it all, but they were big like newspaper format. And it was DC that did it. So they did all these one-shot stories of like Batman and Green Lantern and all this kind of stuff. And they got all these different artists to work on it. It was this gimmick, but it was kind of cool. But there was just something about that format that was different. So going back to this, it's the launch of a new Jim Lee thing, right? A lot of hype. Going back to the Hush storyline, which was super successful for DC. And then for them to release it in this giant size format so you can stare at the artwork this big, it's kind of cool. And it won me over. And I will say, Jim Lee's artwork looks amazing. It's really cool. It's classic Jim Lee. The coloring is really cinematic, really dramatic. It works at this size. They even print the ads this big too, so it just has a lot of impact. I know you guys can't really feel that through the screen compared to a regular comic book, but yeah, it just feels different. So then I also heard that, I don't know if this is a rumor, I read an article saying that they're going to release every issue at this size, and I think it's 6 issues for Hush 2. So I think I heard they're going to release every issue at this size. I don't think I'm going to buy every issue at this size. I definitely have to buy the first one at this size. But yeah, it just goes to show you like something about this size of format. Maybe it's because artist editions are so popular. It's cool. It's cool. It was fun. I had to read it on the floor because it was so big to like flip the pages, but it's very immersive. And yeah, it's kind of classic. If you like Jim Lee, if you liked Hush, it's connecting in all those points. And if you want to step into a movie theater to watch it, I would recommend buying it at this size. And then look, they even had preview pages of Martian Manhunter at this size, which is kind of wild. They just scaled up the whole thing. They didn't change anything about the layout whatsoever for this larger size. So the ads are bigger. Everything is bigger. But yeah, Batman Hush 2. Wacka's back talking about screen menus. I love the screen menus. Physical media is totally the way. Yes, I'm gonna lean into that. Like that's where my money is. That's where my interest is. As an artist, I'm gonna push farther into that just because of how the whole industry, the art industry, is just changing because of all the digital tools, specifically like AI and how they can make things look so real these days. For film, for animation, it's just getting crazy out there, crazy good. And I feel like the physical media will be an important thing to kind of keep up that tradition more and more so, because you'll have a whole generation that will be just totally used to entirely digital everything. And so the people that kind of had one foot into traditional media like myself, one foot into digital media, they're going to be fewer and fewer fewer and fewer of those people, and it's not like there's great mentorship programs that embrace traditional as much as digital anymore, at least that I know of. Most schools are kind of all digital. There's a few schools out there that do some traditional still. I mean, there are schools out there that do traditional still, but we're pushing more and more into the digital space. That's how people consume media. That's how they create media. But I'm going to lean more into traditional because I love it. And I love that physical aspect of art and art creating. Unfortunately, the money, time, space, costs. Yes, exactly. You'll 1-0 and like it. Rocky is doing blow for his nose. What? Later you can, no, I don't think so. Digital subscription model mentality. Yeah. I mean, if that is the way that people are consuming media now, that is the way they're growing up. Why would any effort be put into the traditional way of doing things? Less and less will be. I think it's going to become more and more of a novelty, but there's so much value to it, and I love it. It gives me so much satisfaction and fulfillment when I handle physical media, when I look at other people's physical media. So I'm going to go that route. Cranberry Landers. See, I didn't really like it, and Cranberry Landers likes it. So we're opposites right now, Cranberry. What's up, Mr. Monkey Boy 1969?
How do you say monkey in French?
Good seeing you. Admiral Waka says, nice. I think Sontag and Sean Arendt are going over Hush soon. Cool. Sounds good. Yeah. It's all the talk right now. I think I'm not the best to talk about the story because I didn't really like the first one. I'm curious to see people who are huge fans, maybe like yourself, Cranberry, who love the original storyline, what you feel or what you think of this second addition to it. It does sound like, or just reading this first issue, it does feel like they're paying homage to a lot of like seminal Batman moments. Like this is like from Killing Joke, right? And just the things they're kind of adding in there. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's pretty epic though. We call it IMAX, Rocky. This is like the IMAX of comics. Whenever you have more things, what comes before could easily seem less impressive. You have to remember the context, the point in history when Hush came out, what came before. Batman Hush, R.I.P. I consider to be peak Batman. Oh, I've never read R.I.P. I'll have to look into that one. Good, they printed it Grandpa. Yeah, maybe it works because our eyesight's getting worse. Maybe that's why we don't have to like pull out reading glasses, which I don't use yet. But maybe that's why this works better for the oldies, the old fogies. I definitely would have picked out the giant-sized Batman Hush issue. They have another one. I didn't see it, and I wouldn't have paid money for it. Another one, I think it was like $20. It's like a foil giant-sized special edition. Crazy. Got to run out to the boat for a few minutes to put things away. Feel better, Rocky, later, everyone. See you later, Mark's Music Obsession. Great chatting with you. I will talk to you soon. I like physical, but that is the issue, like what Admiral says. Yes. Jeffrey Beats. Dude, thank you for coming in. Guess what? I got a soundbite for you, Mr. Beats.
10% bogan, 50% bogan, 100% bogan.
There you go. Took me a while, but there you go, Jeffrey Beats. I was thinking about that one a lot, trying to figure out what would work. Play it again for you.
10% bogan, 50% bogan, 100% bogan.
Hope you're well. Hope you enjoy that. There you go. That's Jeffrey Beats' soundbite. I'll be honest, Rocky, upon second reading, since when it first came out, it's been less impressive to me, Hush. But the art is fantastic. Yeah, I'm impressed with Jim Lee's art. He's still doing it, man. I don't know how he does it because he's got a lot on his plate. He still cranks this stuff out. It's pretty incredible. Other problem is that it came out at a certain time, a certain place, was suppressive for when it came out after a couple of days. I would argue that the best stories are timeless. At least the ones I think are like the benchmarks in comic books for me, like Dark Knight Returns, Watchmen, Elektra Lives, Fall of the Mutants, Batman Year One. Those things, like, those are timeless, and it doesn't matter when they came out. Even the artwork to me is just like timeless. So for Firefly, the original first episode airing was The Train Job. There it is. It was. That was not the good one to start. But the proper first episode is the pilot episode called Serenity, not to be confused by the movie with the same name. There it is. That's right. I remember that train one was like, what? This is a weird Western one? Like, Western, sci-fi, bad, speaking bad Mandarin. It was like their Mandarin is really bad. Whoever was their language coach wasn't very good in that movie. I don't even speak Mandarin, but you could tell the accent is just really butchered. And that's kind of a whole story point, is that Mandarin becomes the more universal language in that world. So I haven't heard Fogies in a while. Cool soundbite, Jeffrey Pete says. I am feeling better. I'm still allergic-ish, but much better than I was about a few days ago. Astonishing X-Men is awesome. Alan, you're way behind, dude. How long do you think this took Lee to do right? I've heard rumors of 2 years. Good question. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, that guy is doing a lot, right? Outside of just drawing comics, he's doing a lot for DC and kind of executive VP-ish, whatever he is doing. So creative direction or whatever. So I have no idea. I mean, 2 years sounds quick for somebody who has that much on his plate. This Hush 2 looks amazing. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Impressive. I will definitely pick up the next issue after this. Probably not at this size. I don't know. Am I going to get suckered again? I might. It's kind of cool at this size, though. Story is not seminal, but I feel the execution of how they portrayed Batman was at higher level or state than they have been showing in the years previous. The thing that didn't, for me, is Jim Lee's version of Batman is not my favorite. I feel like he's a better Superman artist than a Batman artist. And I've said that before on stream. It just didn't feel right, Jim Lee on Batman. Even though it's cool, and the way he draws Batman's cool. I just don't feel like he's the right cast on Batman. I'm buying it today, Jeffrey Beat says. Nice. All right, cool. Don't use the word Oriental unless you want to risk. You are so behind, Alan Lau. Is Jim Lee still the creative director for DC, Rocky? I thought he lost that position. He's something high up. Maybe it says in here. Or maybe not. I'm pretty sure he's still high up. No, they didn't say it in here. He's president, publisher and chief creative officer. That's pretty big. He's president. Dang. I still got to check out Firefly. Everyone speaks so fondly of it. My favorite Fillion character will always probably be Cade 6 from Destiny, though, even though it's just voice acting. I'd say Nathan Fillion's character in Firefly is my favorite Nathan Fillion character. That was when I was first introduced to Nathan Fillion, and that is the character that's who I think of every time I think of Nathan Fillion, the captain. So yeah, check it out, Jeffrey Beats. If you like, Admiral Wackass. If you like Nathan Fillion, that is, I think, his best role. The size part is a cool marketing tool. Yeah, they got me. That's $14.99. That is really expensive for a comic book. Jim Lee is not good for Batman. Yeah, it's not my favorite Batman artist. It's not as good as like Frank Miller or David Mazzucchelli, like people that I feel like were just born to draw Batman. Darker. Jim Lee doesn't. Yeah, I feel like he's too polished for a Batman. I don't know if that makes any sense. He's more of like a spandex Batman, and the Batman I like is like dark noir. And Jim Lee doesn't strike me as a noir artist. He's more of like spandex team, a huge team like X-Men. That he is like a perfect cast for drawing X-Men. Batman, I don't know. He's still president, publisher, and CCO according to Wiki. Yeah, he's still up there for sure. All right, wow, that was awesome. That was a lot of stuff to get through, and we did it. And it was a doozy of a week. My goodness. Lots of fun stuff in there. Weird books, big books, different size books. Oh, I didn't even... I'll do it really quick. I'll end it this way. Don't step on the bubble wrap. Oh my gosh, I forgot to say, it's like opening day, baseball. That's why I'm wearing my giant sweatshirt. That's probably why Timmy Mello's not here. Overhead. Okay. This was what I was called Wetsy Comics. I totally didn't make that connection. But okay, so this Batman Hush is almost the same size of this Wednesday Comics compilation. And they published this. I don't think I have it here. I think I have it in one of my back issue boxes. But they published it in like newspaper form. Oh, looky here. Eduardo Rizzo draft. So, oh, that's awesome. Tim Sale. It was really cool. It's kind of to reproduce like a Sunday comic newspaper feel to it. It was an interesting experiment. And then they compiled it all in this one large thing. These are all Rizzo. Wow, I haven't looked at this in a long time. These are awesome. So Rizzo did a Batman story. Look at all these colors. Amazing. Ryan Sook, Commandi story. Feels like Prince Valiant a little bit. Great artwork. My goodness. I should probably look at this closer on another stream. I'm just going to flip through it really quick, just so you guys can see like the size format. I should look at this closer though. Man, I haven't looked at this in a long time. This is Lee Bermejo. He's like a painter artist. It's Dave Bullock. Great. He's an animation artist. Also did comics. Kind of has a Darwin Cook feel to his stuff. Did a Dead Man story. Joe Quinones did a Green Lantern story. Awesome. Mike Allred did a Metamorpho story. So it was just cool. And I bring it up because of the formatting and this large size. Oh, Paul Pope. So good. Anyway, pretty cool. Oh, there's Kubert. Oh, this is Stelfreeze. Oh, this is awesome. Look at Stelfreeze work. Yeah, I got to look at this closer on another stream. This is an awesome compilation. Kyle Baker. So good. Anyway, called Wednesday Comics, and they were this like newspaper format. If I can find the original, whenever I talk about this closer, I'll pull out the original so you can see like how it folded out like a newspaper. But yeah, there's something to that giant size. Now, is this a pain in the butt to store? For sure. It's right next to all my other artist edition stuffs, which are hard to store. But it's awesome. Because it's more. It's more comics. Bigger. Better. Okay. Woo. Let's see. Nathan Chillian should have played Nathan Drake in the Uncharted movie instead of Tom Holland. Nathan Fillion, yes. Nathan Chillian's actually a cool name. Yes. He definitely has that Harrison Ford quality to him, like that smug, handsome rogue quality to him. So yeah, he's great. He should have been in that movie. John says, Rocky's still going to stream later? Oh, gosh. Can I do it? I'm going to decide in the next 30 minutes if I can do it or not. I've got a time limit, a hard time limit, but I do want to finish that page. Can I pull it off? I'm going to decide, John. I can't. I went a little longer on this stream than I thought I was going to be. I was not good at watching my time. Yeah. I get your perspective on approach to a Batman. Fillion as Drake would have been perfect. Yes. I think he was even rumored to be cast for that film, if I'm not mistaken. Did I hear him tell himself not to sub? Yes, you did. Plan on doing any drawing streams soon, Rocky? Ugh. That is going to be answered in the next 30 minutes or so. I will let you guys know. You guys will be first to know. If you haven't subscribed or don't have the notifications turned on for my channel, now would be the perfect time, because if I am going to stream, I will decide within the next 30 minutes. Allred is awesome. He is. I haven't talked to him much on stream, but I should. Allred is amazing. You're live in Memorex. Anyway, cool. I plan on being a nuisance at that stream too if it does happen. Be easy to store in Shant Studio. Nah, I don't know. Shant Studio scares me. I feel like I was more quiet in the stream than I usually am. Nah, you're good. Good, Comrade Sammy. It's probably the tooth thing, huh? I've got to figure out a better storage size for my big format stuff. I have a great Slain Collected Edition Art of Rosette. Oh gosh, that sounds amazing. I've looked through that Slain Collected Edition. I did not buy it, but that one is amazing. The Bisley. Will you buy Biz-sized Batman Hush 3? Bus-sized Batman Hush 3. I will. That's right. If they make it, I might. Friday. I can't do it on Friday. Yeah, I can't. I got to pick somebody up in the airport in the middle of the day. I don't think I can do Friday. I'm like Shant, small space, lots of stacks. Yeah. Remember, Rocky, sleep is for the weak. Yes. Mission accomplished. I agree with your stance on Fillion regarding Harrison Ford. He's more humorous, though. He's a little bit more comical than Ford. But when you watch him in Firefly, it's like he could be Han Solo for... Let's go. View hours. Membership is waiting. It's right. We got to do it. Mark's music obsession. I thought you were taking off. You're still here. My tooth, bro. It's not like I need teeth to type. Well, you said you're quiet. Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right. All right. I got to make some hard decisions here. If you are not subscribed or notifications are not turned on, turn them on, because you're about to find out whether or not I'm going to stream again, as am I. But if I don't, thank you guys so much for joining me and in this collection, for being here for all this. It was great. Great catching up with you guys. I know it's been a while, but hopefully this allergy thing has passed through my system and it won't be as bad in the coming weeks. And yeah, but what do we got? We got 503. We're at 503 subscribers, which is awesome. Got to get those watch hours up, which is what the goal is. And we got to finish that Master Study stream. So let me talk it over with myself, my brain, with my Martian Manhunter in here, and we'll figure out if I can do this or not. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Hit that like before you leave, and I will talk to you soon. If not today, I will catch you again very shortly, probably next week. Definitely next week, probably at the beginning of the week, all things going well. Thank you so much. Awesome seeing you guys. Have a good rest of your week. Take it easy, Rocky. His brain is impaired. It is running in and out of the dock. Thanks, Rocky. All right. Have a great rest of the day and maybe see you later. Maybe. See you guys.